We are back at TIO Stadium where the Pakistan Shaheens come up against the Perth Scorchers for match 8 of the 2025 Top End T20 Series sponsored by NT Tourism. I'd like to start this broadcast by acknowledging the Larrakia people, the traditional owners of the land we are on, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people watching this broadcast. My name is Will Zwar and today I'm joined by Carl Main. Good to be here with you, Carl. We had the bat flip earlier on. We'll get to that in just a moment. Oh, here we go now. And it was Pakistan who won that toss, and they have decided that they will come in and have a bat.
Fantastic, Will. Great to be with you. Glorious conditions here in Darwin again. And the Pakistan Shaheens, they really set the competition alight in Game 1 on Thursday night. They blazed 227 against Bangladesh to claim a commanding 79-run win. All set up by a 118-run opening stand by Yasir Khan and Khawaja Nafe. They'll be looking to continue their good form. Also well supported by Abdul Samad, who made a 56 off only 27 balls. So plenty of firepower in that Pakistan Shaheens lineup, and they'll be looking to get off to a strong start again today. Yeah,
they'll go in unchanged. Looking at the Perth Scorchers today, they've got 3 changes. Coming in is Joel Curtis, Bryce Jackson and Brodie Couch. They'll take the place of Jaden Goodwin, Keaton Critchell and also Albert Esterhausen. The Perth Scorchers, they went down in their first game yesterday to the Kingsmen. That game was, they lost by 2 wickets.
Yeah, Matthew Kelly, the pick of the bowlers, claiming 3 for 33. We'll be back with live action shortly.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
Back here at TIO Stadium and we're about to get into Game 8. It is the Pakistan Shaheens versus the Perth Scorchers, and one to watch for me, I'm Will Zwar, with me is Carl Main. One for me to watch, Carl, is Teague Wiley. He so far has the highest batting score of the tournament, 67 he scored yesterday. Meanwhile, Yasir Khan, he's got a pretty high score as well for Pakistan in that first match. Let me just grab in my notes here. But Absolutely. He ended up with 62. So, yeah, some big hitters on the field today.
Absolutely. A lot of firepower in both batting lineups. We can see the Perth Scorchers made a couple of changes to their bowling lineup. They've been strengthened by the inclusions of Brodie Crouch and Bryce Jackson, looking to support Matthew Kelly, who bowled well in the first game. So can they claim some early wickets to put the Pakistan Shaheens middle order under some pressure? We're just moments away from the first ball. Looks like Matthew Kelly has the ball, so he's making his way to the top of the mark. Deep square leg has gone out, along with a deep third. So a reminder, only the 4 overs of the power play to begin with, before a power surge over of 2 overs will be placed after the 11th over. So the captains will be no doubt digressing on when's the appropriate time to take the power surge. Everything is in order as we look to start match 8 of the Top End Series. Fantastic tournament so far. Incredible display of emerging talent, both domestically and internationally. Kelly comes in. Full, driven to mid-on. Comes around neatly to collect the ball. Throws back, no run. Will, we're underway with match 8.
Yeah, underway. Great fielding there in that first ball. There's been some really good fielding all tournament so far, Carl. Not too many of them have caught batters outside of the crease. There was one in the game earlier here today on Super Saturday between the Melbourne Renegades and the ACT Comets. I think it might have been Tom Hogan who was caught out of his crease, but otherwise most have been safe. Some very good fielding nonetheless.
Kelly returning to the crease. Full again, sliced out, backward of point, in the air, safe. The batsman will come back for 2. Skied shot backward of point, a bit of width, able to free the arms, and Yassir is off the mark, looking to follow up from his 62 off 40, 7 4s and 2 6s he scored in match number 1. As we said in the opener, a brilliant opening stand by the Pakistan Shaheens, 118 before they lost that first wicket. A comical run out, Will, if you've seen it. Kelly comes in onto the thigh. Just a little bit of pad trickles to square leg as they jot through for a single. That brings Khawaja Nafe on strike. Second fiddle in that opening stand. 61 off 31, 8 4s and 2 6s. What did you make of that run out? Did you see that in the opening game?
I didn't yet. No, it's on my to-do list. A few games of cricket to catch up on, Carl. There's plenty happening this week.
Yeah, they certainly showed their emotions with the run out as to whose fault it was. But after the game, we're seen hugging hands and everything was okay. Kelly back to the crease. Full left outside the off stump. That one makes its way through to halt the keeper for the Perth Scorchers. And yes, the Perth Scorchers, we're looking to improve their bowling display. Lots of it was left to Kelly in game 1. Returning figure Matthew Kelly was the pick of the bowlers for Perth Scorchers in last year's Top End Series. So we're looking for a more even contribution from their squad, the team from WA in Australia. Kelly bowled him straight through the gate. Big swing from Nafe. That's the early wicket for the Perth Scorchers. No 100 opening run stand for the Pakistan Shaheens today. They've lost their first wicket at the score of 3 in the 5th over. Kelly getting through. An aggressive shot from Nafe. We'll wait for the replay to see if the ball moved, swung, or if there was any variations from Kelly, but he's done the damage, taking an early wicket there, Will. Yeah,
really important one as well. We know how damaging this partnership can be. There's still, I think, Samad also picked up where Nafe left off in that first match, so they wouldn't want to get too settled here, the Scorchers, but a very, very important wicket there. Khawaja Nafe out for a duck off his second ball.
Definitely swung. We've just seen the replay there. Kelly got the in-swinger going. Got through bat and pad of Nafe. Looked to play aggressively down the line. And it will be interesting to see if Abdul Samad keeps his aggressive approach. As we said, the 56 off only 27 balls with 5 6s in match 1, striking at over 200, Will. So certainly an aggressive player. Will he look to take that approach with the score at 1 for 3 in the first over?
Kelly very happy with that. A wicket in the first over of the game. One more ball to come.
Still the deep square and deep third man, the 2 fielders out. Kelly returns to the crease. Full defensive shot from Samad. Back to the bowler's end stumps. And that concludes the first over. 1 for 3. A great start for the Perth Scorchers. Taking early wickets so key in the power play, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been a few games so far in this tournament where teams haven't really settled and given away some really big totals in that first over of the match. I think last night the Nepalese team conceded 18. A lot of those were sundries. I think it went for about 8 balls that first over, possibly even more than that. So yeah.
So we've got one of the inclusions, Bryce Jackson, to bowl from the Michael Long ends.
Scorchers would be very happy to keep them to just 3 off this first over and 1 wicket in there as well.
We've got the same field with a deep third and deep square leg out. 1 slip in place. Fine leg up into the ring as Jackson comes in to Yassir's car. Strays onto leg stump. Just worked out to deep square for 1. Brings Samad back onto the strike. An Orby product, Bryce Jackson. Tall right armour with good pace. Has the ability to swing the ball both ways and really developing into a dangerous prospect for limited overs cricket. So much emerging talent on display here in the Top End Series. Many of these players will go on to domestic and even international contracts, and such a thrill that we get to see them here first in Darwin. Jackson returns, back of a length, again, just slightly straight, able to work into mid-wicket for 1. Just not allowing any room. They will have done their research, having seen the explosive batting from the Pakistan Shaheens in game 1. They'll looked at where they scored their boundaries. The early indications are they're looking to bowl tight into middle and leg, restrict the boundaries early. Will. Jackson returns for the 3rd ball of the over. Full, upish, and caught it mid-off. Again, looking to play down the ground in an aggressive manner, but just couldn't find the timing. Mid-off came across the ground, diving full stretch to take a nice catch. And the Pakistan Shaheens are in trouble now at 2 for 5 in the 2nd over, Will.
Yeah, they've taken the danger man, Yasir Khan, and the top 2 now down. Abdul Samad and Mohammed Fake, who is walking to the crease now. They'll have to try and get this team into a bit of a groove. As you said, he just cracked it back down the field. Hasn't quite gotten onto it. Decent effort there. He had to charge for it, the fielder, but he got there, and that's a really good catch.
Really well judged. Running across from mid-off. Just looked to be looking a little leg side with that shot, trying to hit over mid-on. Just sliced in the hand, spun away. Mid-off ran around to collect a great catch, and it's 2 for 5 in the 2nd over. Wickets for Jackson and Kelly. And some pressure on the Pakistan Shaheens. Will, it's that decision time now. Do you still look to capitalise with 2 fielders out in the power play and get off to that fast start, or do you need to consolidate and just bat within yourself and try and avoid any more damage in this early stage of the game?
Oh, I think the Perth Scorchers would be wanting to sort of make the most of it while they can. I think for Pakistan, it's just keeping a clear conscience, staying level, staying balanced, and restarting here.
Jackson again. Back of a length, defender to mid-dot ball, so pressure really on the Pakistan Shaheens here. Jackson's been able to find his length, not allow any width. Putting pressure, trying to get a little bit of movement out of this new ball. We saw that opening wicket from Kelly really swung in through the gate. Jackson coming in again. Ooh. Straight onto the pads. Just sliding down. Half an appeal from Jackson. No support from behind the wicket, but it's another dot ball importantly. And after the fireworks from the Shaheens in game 1, they're really on the back foot here. Only the 2 runs off the over. Scorchers really putting the pressure on. Jackson to Freak, slow ball, full, dug out. Ends a fantastic opening over for Bryce Jackson. his first over in the 2025 Top End T20 Series. The score is 2 for 5 after 2.
And if you're tuning in from wherever you are, it's 30 degrees here in Darwin. It's a lovely, beautiful day, but middle of a dry season means later at night it can get a bit dewy on the ground. It'd be interesting to see how this game, or how Pakistan will approach this game. They played under lights at 7 p.m. The game started on Thursday night. Meanwhile, for the Scorchers, they'd be used to these conditions. They played the same game, same time slot 24 hours ago.
Kelly returns to open the third over. Full defended through to cover. Dot ball again. Matthew Kelly's been around WA cricket for a while now. Started with a rookie contract back in the 2016-17 season, having represented WA in underage pathway cricket. Made his debut for the one-day side in 2017-18 and has ever since been a consistent bowler, known for his line and length. Hard to get away, which he's showing early today. Short of a length, pulled to the leg side. Got protection out there. Deep square leg, gets around. Fields cleanly to return, so just a single. Dug that one. The first real short ball we've seen today. Samad was able to get on top of the bounce. Controlled it down to deep square leg for a comfortable single. Bringing Farouk back onto strike.
Has been a nervous start to the batting innings for Pakistan batters. Fake yet to get a run away.
Full again, over mid-off. That one's better times. That looks like the first boundary for the Pakistan Shaheens as it rolls into the rope there.
And he's away now.
Yes. Take a breather there, Farouk. A bit of confidence getting the first boundary away today. Full. First one they've really been able to get the arms through. Nice timing over mid-off. Takes the score to 10. How will Kelly respond? Turning Faik here. Back of the length straight. Backward of points. Half a call of yes. Fielder shies and an overthrow. They'll get through for a single. Bit of action in that ball there, Will.
Yeah, they hesitated a second time as well for that run. Maybe a little bit uncertain. They looks like they were maybe just setting something up with that before. Looked very confident from Mohammed Fake, but maybe it's just a little bit nervy. They don't want to go down another wicket so early in the game.
Now it looks like the Perth Scorchers are really looking to put the pressure on as we see deep mid-wicket drop out and deep third come up. So we've got deep square leg, deep mid-wicket out. Two deep fielders on the leg side coming in to Samad here. It's leg side, out. LBW, Kelly attacking the stumps. Samad will see if he just shuffled across the stumps a slight, but wasn't able to make contact, and they've lost their third wicket now. Real trouble for the Pakistan Shaheens.
Cracking start from the Perth Scorchers. I just said a moment ago they don't want to drop another wicket so early, and they're down to 3 for 11, and we haven't even finished this third over yet. One more ball to come. Yeah, really concerning start for Pakistan. Perth Scorchers, meanwhile, I guess somewhat trying to make amends for yesterday's effort. It is a short competition, just 6 games, and if you lose 2 early games, it can be really hard to catch them up. Pakistan maybe not under as much pressure heading into this one with a big win on Thursday night, but Perth Scorchers really coming to play today.
Just looking at the replay here, so it looks pretty adjacent to me. So maybe just playing across the line, trying to work out to a single out to those deep fielders on the leg side, but just across the line, pretty adjacent in front of middle. Wasn't going over, and Kelly's picked up his second wicket in his second overs. Those figures looking pretty good at 2 for 8 with 1 ball to go in his second over. Pakistan Shaheens have lost their 3 stars from match 1, all scored 50s. So now we're going to have to see what this middle order can hold. As we wait for the new batter to the crease to mark centre. Looks like number 16. Ahmad Sadakat the left-hander as Kelly comes in again. That one's worked away to short fine for a single. Sadaqat gets off the mark, and that makes the score 3 for 12 after 3 overs.
Yeah, really, really good start by the Perth Scorchers. Pakistan seeming like they could be a bit of a powerhouse in this competition after a big win on Thursday night. I think 79 runs it was in the end. And as you mentioned, their 3 opening batsmen just dominating with the bat. But they're all gone early here at TIO Stadium for match 8 against the Perth Scorchers. And they'll need a new star to come out of the woodwork somewhere and try and score some runs and set a winning target.
Absolutely. So Mars Sadaqat here, the left-hander, didn't bat in game 1. So we're looking to see if he can rebuild this innings. Try and find the sweepers, get some timing, spend some time at the crease before launching late to get a defendable score. Jackson full, driven to cover, no run. Jackson 2 runs off his first over, claiming a wicket. Starts with another dot here. He'll be full of confidence. Looking to swing the ball, getting it right up there. No slip in play. Deep third, deep square leg are the 2 fielders out. The last over of the power play. Pakistan wouldn't have had this in mind. 3 for 12. Jackson returns to the crease. Back of a length, down leg side, wide. As the umpire signals to the scorers. We take a breather from the early fireworks from the Perth Scorchers. A state that's just been so well renowned for the fast bowling talent they've been able to produce. I think in recent years of Lance Morris, Jai Richardson, just to name a couple. Jackson full again, ball's driven out to cover point, no run. Just haven't been able to find any timing so far, the Pakistan Shaheens. 2 wickets lost to aggressive drives, looking down the wicket, and then in that last over, Kelly claiming the LB. Matt, so all the wickets coming from full balls. Poor Scorchers backing their skills with this new ball. Jackson comes in again. Flayed over to the leg side. He's got a bit of that. That's cleared the boundary. The first 6 of the innings. Sadaqat looking to respond with a counter-attack. Got the ball in his area. Leg stump, swung through it. And it sailed over the square leg boundary well.
Yeah, massive 6 there. We said they need to sort of try and establish some sort of partnership here because they've lost their 3 big batters. But Perth Scorchers, I'm just looking at the scorecard here. I think this is the first time I've seen we've gotten 4 overs in and just 2 batsmen. A lot of teams have tried experimenting so far. In comes Jackson now.
He's gone again. Swayed over to the leg side. Only took an outside edge. It's run down to the 3rd man boundary for 4. So back-to-back boundaries. The counter-attack is on from Sadaqat here. Something tells me that Pakistan Shaheens will have the modern T20 approach, which is if you lose early wickets, you just keep going, Will. There's no time to try and build an innings. You just keep going, and if it comes off, it comes off.
Yeah, and they've sort of got to at this stage. 23 runs so far. They're not quite averaging or reaching a run rate that they need to set a competitive total. But that'll help. A 6 and a 4. 2 consecutive boundaries, the first of the innings so far.
It's brought about a change in the field. That 3rd man has come up. Deep square legs gone a little bit finer, and there's a deep mid wicket. So 2 out on the leg side. Jackson returns. Back of a length. He's able to run around, stop the single at mid wicket after those back-to-back boundaries. With the Shaheens trying to put some pressure back onto the Perth Scorchers in this last over of the power play.
One more to come here from Jackson. She said one last ball of this power play. They'll be hoping maybe they can capitalise one more time here.
Here comes Jackson. Over the wicket. Full again into leg stump. Half an appeal. May have pitched outside leg stump. And that concludes the power play. Pakistan Shaheens a better over with the 11 off. The score is 3 for 23. The power play finishing. Interesting to see if we'll have a change of bowling or if Kelly will continue having taken 2 wickets in the first 2 overs, and it looks like he will.
Be Brody Couch with ball in hand, by the looks of it.
Good pick up there, Will. There is a change of bowler from the airport end. Brody Couch in for his first game of the series. A skiddy fast, right arm fast bowler. Originally from Victoria, plied his trade with the North Cricket Club. A couple of fantastic seasons in the Victorian Premier League. Saw him gain a contract over in WA, and he'll be looking to show the selectors his skill set and push for higher honours through this Australian summer.
Bowling to Mohammed Faye here.
Crouch comes in, quick, full, push to mid-off. Scampers through for a quick single there, Faik, bringing Sadakat back onto strike, the left-hander. So in this 5th over, we have seen the field push back. Looks like we've got the allotted 4 fielders out. Deep third, deep cover, deep fine leg, and deep square leg. Pretty conventional field here. Couch will continue to be bowling aggressively, I think, getting the ball up as we see a deep long on dropout as well. So we do have the full 5 fielders out, 4 inside the ring. As Couch returns to the crease. Back of a length, good pace and carry. Just bet Sadakat for pace there as he looked to guide down to 3rd man for 1. But early signs looking good for Couch here, finding a bit of pace and liveliness out of this pitch. Ball will still have a little bit of shine to it, but that'll be starting to roughen up a little bit. Might start to bring the spin of the Perth Scorchers into the game through these middle overs. Couch to the crease again. It's flayed outside. Mid-off is coming around. Can he get there? Outstretched arms, just out of reach. A good effort from mid-off running around. Sadakat continues his aggressive frame and just survives with that aggressive shot out to mid-off.
Yeah, tough shot there. Tough effort, or great effort from the fielder, I should say. He was almost running backwards, probably also looking into the sun at the same time. Had to pull off a triple threat and just didn't quite get there.
2 runs brings Sadakat back onto strike. Crouch returns, back of a length. Worked into the gap between cover and backward point. An easy single, bringing Faik back onto strike. So we've got a left-hand, right-hand combination here. We'll see the field change. The bowler will have to adjust his line and length. Can this be the partnership that brings the Pakistan Shaheens back into the game?
We'll hope it will be. They've been making some pretty convincing calls to each other between wickets.
Back of a length, pulled out to mid-wicket. That's well timed. Got onto that pull shot extremely quickly. Fake 4 in front of mid-wicket. Glorious shot. Takes the score to 31. And this partnership is starting to grow.
Yeah, you're right. They're sort of going with that modern approach of if you lose wickets, just keep going. And they've been pretty aggressively aiming for the boundaries there. And where there's even the possibility of a single, they've been going for it as well. Just try and build that total up.
Crouch to respond. Back of a length. Glided out to deep third for a single. They look to come back for a second. It's going to be tight. Great running. Really put the pressure on. I didn't think there was 2 there off the bat. They sprinted the first one hard, turned quickly, came back. Holt, the keeper, wasn't able to make it to the stumps. And another good over for the Pakistan Shaheens. 10 coming off the first over of Brodie Crouch. Will, have you got a pass score in mind? What do you think the Shaheens might be looking at to post in this first innings?
It's been a bit of a blip early on the radar for them, but I still think they can get up to around sort of 170, 180. I'm not sure if they've quite got the firepower now. Keep in mind, we've only seen 3 of their batsmen so far in the competition, and none of them will be out there again today. But I'm not sure if they can quite get to 200, but if they can build their run rate up, it's now at about 6.6, I think it was. That could be a relatively tough target for the Scorchers to try and chase.
So we're seeing the introduction of spin with Corey Roccaccioli coming on from the Michael Long centre end. Bowling to the left-handed Sadagrat. Straight, appeal for LBW. First ball, just sliding on. Maybe playing for spin, but there was none in that first delivery. Both the wicketkeeper and bowler were very interested. Turned down by the umpire. Roccaccioli again, back of a length. Hitting on the back pad this time, and this time out. Didn't get away with it the second time. Again, the ball just sliding on. Great start from Roccaccioli. He claims a wicket with his second ball. And just as the partnership was starting to form, the Scorchers have claimed their 4th wicket. The score now 4 for 33. Disappointing for the Shaheens there, Will.
Yeah, it just seems like the change in bowling sort of has stumped them a little bit, or not quite stumped them, it's gotten them LB. But yeah, they just 2 really nervous starts to Roccaccioli's over, and they've lost 1 wicket. Just as they were starting to build something, I think that partnership had gotten up to, well, it was definitely the best one we'd seen so far, but almost up to sort of 25 runs. And yeah, as quick as they've started something, it's over, back to square one for them. Coming in now, it'll be Irfan Khan Niazi.
So can we have a captain knock from Irfan Khan? Experienced player, well regarded in Pakistan cricket circles. He'll be looking to rescue this ship. Rory Roccaccioli, 2 balls in a row there, was able to just beat the bat, sliding on with pace. Probably the most well-known figure in this Perth Scorchers outfit that's made its way to Darwin for the top end T20 series. He's really performed well in Shield cricket in recent years, really contending for that next spin spot in Australian international ranks. This time, full outside off. Irfan Khan is off the mark. He'll come back for 2 as the ball makes its way down to the deep 3rd boundary. He started well. Roccaccioli's looking dangerous with the ball. Pakistan Shaheens just maybe playing for a little bit of spin from the off-spinned Roccaccioli, but the ball's just either drifting or sliding on and beating the outside half of the bat. Roccaccioli shorter there. Again, straight, zeroing into the stumps. Just looks likely here, Roccaccioli.
Yeah, you're right, he absolutely does. Those first 2 balls were lethal. Niazi's just gotten off his mark now, but I don't think Roccaccioli's done just yet.
Returns to Irfan Niazi, just pushed out to deep mid-off, so that will be a single of the 5th ball of the over. Roccaccioli first playing Big Bash with the Melbourne Renegades and the Melbourne Stars, so be familiar with those who have followed the Big Bash, but now has his contract with the Perth Scorchers in WA. So to close out the 6th over, Roccaccioli, full, middle and leg, worked out onto the onside. They look to come back for a second and make their ground comfortably to finish the over. So a wicket in his first over, continuing the trend from Kelly and Jackson earlier in the innings. The score is now 4 for 38.
Yeah, Roccaccioli be very happy with that, and suspect we won't see, or we will see him again pretty shortly. Down the other end, Brodie Crouch bowled last over, but they're going to have a crack with someone else. Looks like it's Luke Holt coming in. So a change in attack down the airport end. Of course, TAO Stadium here among the sporting complex and right next to the airport. So you can get some bursts of wind coming through here. At the moment, the flags, sort of two of them are steadily pushing to the south and one's just sort of floating there, not doing too much. Carl?
Yep, no, so it looks like the batters are hitting with the wind here towards the airport end. So interesting if they'll look to take deep mid on or deep long on into play here as Holt comes in to Irfan Nazi. It is full to begin. He just works that through to long on. As we said, well known Irfan Khan. Played over 11 international T20 matches with a high score of 37, so has been on the international circuit. Solid batter, one to watch for his consistency. So he won't be overawed by the task of rebuilding this innings. Holt, early call of yes. Khan responds with no from the non-striker's end. Last thing we need here is a run out with the Pakistan Shaheens under pressure at 4 for 39. Really need this pair to put on 50 or more. Holt returns the leg spin straight into the wicket. Just work to the onside for an easy single to bring Fake back onto strike. Fake's made his way to 15 off 11, so he's going about his business nicely over a runner ball as there's been some carnage of wickets, consistent wickets through this early innings. Holt again, full straight, not able to beat the bowler as the ball was defended back down the wicket. Irfan Khan Nazi just finding the pace of the wicket, looking to find the right tempo for his innings today. Full, driven to short cover. Another dot ball. Luke Holt will be happy with how he started his spell here with the 2 singles so far. Holt returns. This one's driven more firmly down the wicket to mid-off. Holt gets a hand to it but is unable to stop the single. And that concludes the 7th over of the innings. Pakistan Shaheens now 4 for 41.
Yeah, they'd be happy with that. The Perth Scorchers are really tight over there, following a couple of not so much expensive ones, but ones where you just thought maybe Pakistan are edging their way back into the competition. Feels like now they're walking a little bit of a tightrope. As you mentioned, Carl, they don't want to get out in any stupid ways with some silly running between wickets, but they do need to put on the runs.
Rockacholi returning for his 2nd over. Takes the pace off that one. It's just defended into mid-wicket. We've hardly seen any loose deliveries at all from the Perth Scorchers. They've just really been on the money from the 1st over. This bowling attack. Rockacholi to Imran Nazi. Just works that one out to deep mid-off. So fair to say this pair has just taken a more circumspect approach, Will. Not looking to continue to blaze boundaries, just working singles and trying to build their innings here. As it's Rockacholi to Fake. Again, a single just squirts out to point. Perth would be happy with this though, as long as they can limit the boundaries, even the 2s. Pakistan should be looking to put some pressure onto the sweepers if they can hit it 10 or 20 metres either side, push back hard for 2s to just build this run rate. Quick single, keeper shies to the bowler's end. So good intent there, communication between the batter and non-striker.
Partnership out now up to 9, Carl, and you're right, they've seemed a little bit shaky since that last wicket, just a bit nervous to do anything too silly.
Rockacholi to Fake, slower over the arm, well fielded off his own bowling. Another dot, so Perth Scorchers well in control at the moment. Pakistan Shaheens looking to build a counter-attacking partnership. Rockacholi with his bouncing tall action. Just eased into the offside for another single. Getting through that over remarkably quickly. Not sure that the ball really left the inner circle. Rockacholi showing his experience, skills, why he's highly regarded in Australian cricket circles, and just another great talent to have on display here in Darwin for the Top End Series.
Yeah, he's got a great name to call as well. I think he'd be popular with the kids with a name like Rockacholi, but his bowling so far today has been fantastic already. In 2 overs, 1 for 9. And that last wicket was really important as well.
As Holt returns for his second over, the leg spinner, wider, hit hard backward of point, well fielded, diving to his right-hand side, saves at least 2.
Rockacholi doing work in the field there.
Yeah, good support for the bowler, Holt. The spin duo looking after each other there. Holt returns to Faik. This one is straighter again to Rockacholi at point. So 2 dots to start the innings, the over, sorry, and the pressure really starts to build when you've got multiple dots in a T20 match. Is Faik going to be thinking single to get off strike or boundary to put some pressure back onto Holt? Straight, worked into the onside, pushing hard, pretty straight to the fielder who's quickly off the rope. And just the single. Luke Holt, a promising under-19 prospect, took 67 wickets in the Premier season in WA last season. Will, pretty impressive figures for a young junior.
Coming in now, halfway through his over.
Worked out for another single to cover. So the spin has the innings under control at the moment here.
They're keeping that run rate under control. Pakistan, that was sort of hovering up at about 6, but it's dropped just below that a little while ago.
Holt to Faik. Well timed. Full ball driven out to mid-off. Another single. Little game of cat and mouse at the moment here. Sort of feel that the Shaheens are probably comfortable just trying to build an innings, but at the same time the Scorchers are happy with overs of 4 or 5 and over keeping that run rate under control. Holt again. Fuller driven, taken the outside edge. Wicket keeper was immediately up there, Baxter Holt. The umpire had no hesitation in raising the finger, and that is damaging for the Pakistan Shaheens. Luke Holt claiming his first wicket of the last ball of his second over. Now has the figures of 1 for 6. Pakistan Shaheens in all sorts of trouble now at 5 for 48.
Yeah, it feels like the ship's sort of somewhat going on the right path. That run rate could be a little bit higher, but it's still manageable at the moment. Now it's almost just a question of if it can last the journey. They've lost half of their wickets before the halfway point, and there's not really a key batsman who's lasted the journey either. They've almost dropped all in order. There, that was the captain out, Irfan Khan Niazi. Mohammed Faik, the second drop, he's still in. Maybe the hope's resting on him for the moment.
He has looked comfortable and been able to score over a run of ball, so just needs someone to go the journey with him here. We're still so early into this first innings for the Pakistan Shaheens, only the 9 overs bowled, so there is time to resurrect this innings as we see number 4 Hadeen Saad Masood come to the crease. So a great opportunity for him to put his name in lights with the selectors. It's often when you're in the most trouble that you can really make a name for yourself, build your reputation. There's some international talent that has made its way to the shores of Darwin. I'm sure many will be aspiring to try and secure a contract for the T20 ICC World Cup to be played in India and Sri Lanka next year. Rockacholi coming back into Faik, and it's another dot ball. Bowling, just mixing up his pace nicely here, Rockacholi, using his experience and skills. He's been able to slide the ball on. That one was bowled with a bit more loop. As we see his bounding action. Tall right arm bowler. Strays down leg there. Fake's able to get off strike as we see. Two Perth Scorchers run into each other trying to collect the ball there. No damage done.
All smiles still.
Brings Said Masood onto strike for his first delivery. They faced the one delivery in match one, Masood, so not much to go off there. Rockacholi comes in, pushes onto the back foot to a good length ball. Played straight down the line, trying to find the deep long on for a single, but well fielded by Rockacholi. He's just been able to bowl consistent dot balls or even just singles. And no damage off his bowling so far. Worked into the offside as short third comes around. Only 10 runs as he's approaching the end of his third over, Rockacholi. Interesting to see if Perth Scorchers elected to just bowl him out with his full allotment of 4 overs here. Coming in again. Quicker ball. Defended to short cover, and it's another dot ball off the bowling of Rockacholi. Now has 1 ball remaining in this, the 10th over, as we approach the halfway mark of the Pakistan Shaheens innings. Rockacholi onto leg, work to short, fine. A quick single, might have been tight, misfielded by Luke Holt there. Deep third, so that concludes the 10th over. Pakistan Shaheens making their way to 5 for 55. Can they turn it around for the second half of the innings, Will?
Well, for their sake, you'd hope so, and also, I guess, just to get a competitive total for the Perth Scorchers, the last game here today, the first of Super Saturday, the ACT Comets managed just 106, which ultimately it didn't really give a lot of opportunity for those Renegades batters to show their flair. They still got the win, but it would have been nice if a few more of them had just a little bit more time at the crease as well.
The leg spin of Hulk resumes. Full outside off. Cover drive to deep cover. And it's just a single from Fraik there. So he's made his way to 21 off 23. Providing some stability to this Pakistan Shaheens innings. Can Saheed Masood do the same and just try and give their bowlers something to defend in this match 8 of the top end T20 series?
In Holt comes now. That one put out to point. Held for a single. Holt now into his third over as well. Claimed 1 wicket the last ball of his second over. Just discussing now with Sam Fanning, captain today, best positions for the fielders. They've gone for a single. It's beaten the fielder, nearly caught up, but again, they're just trying to grab the runs where they can, Pakistan. They need to bring that run rate up halfway through the innings, and they were just over 50. They'll need to get a little bit more to find that competitive total. And that's a good strike, although it's caught. So another wicket falls, and the Perth Scorchers, this time it is Mohammed Fake, the one who seemed a little bit more stable there. He will go out for 21 of 23 balls, and suddenly things are looking very, very shaky for Pakistan. 6 for 53, they go halfway through the 10th over.
All sorts of trouble. Fake, back of a length, tried to pull the ball out to mid-wicket, straight to the fielder. Didn't really look like he was trying to go over or place it either side, so he'll be disappointed with that dismissal. Was looking comfortable as he made his way to 21, but yeah, weather just being behind the run rate started to eat away into his mind, put him under pressure. Holt claims his second wicket as we see the replay there, well held in the deep, 10 metres off the boundary. The sixth wicket down, and now we're really into the lower order of the Pakistan Sheehans. Faik may have been the last recognised batter. Certainly Saeed Masood, more known for his leg spinning, trying to stake his claim as a bowling all-rounder. And he'll be joined to the crease by number 9, Shahid Aziz.
Kelly did the catching there, so doing it in the field as well as with ball in hand. Holt claimed his second wicket, and now Shahid Aziz joins Saeed Masood out in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, interesting story. Aziz hails from a very remote area, the Kharoom Agency, and started with tape ball cricket, as many in the Pakistan cultures do. They love their tape ball cricket, and it's certainly starting to find its way into Australian culture. Seeing many multicultural cups start, and yeah, it's an art form. Well, I'm not sure if you've seen it, the tape ball cricket, but the amount of pride they put into taping those tennis balls.
Another appeal. Umpire not taking the bait there. Our umpires today are Rob Stewart and Simon Burns here in match 8 as well, and that will be the end of the 11th over. Pakistan at 6 for 54. A lot of work to do here at TIO Stadium. Just 3 off the over and another wicket. The Perth Scorchers have been really consistent and really tight. They haven't let a boundary slip through since the 5th over. Just been singles since then.
We'll see a change of bowling from the Michael Long centre ends. Brodie Couch returning. Corey Rockacholi leaving an over in the arsenal after he's really controlled these middle overs. Been super hard to get away, so can this bowling change just be a chance for the Sheehans to just find some momentum their way, because it's been all Perth Scorchers so far. The score at 6 for 54 after 11. Top ball to start from Crouch there as the ball's just defended.
Fires off to backwards point. This could be an opportunity here for Pakistan. Crouch's earlier over, he conceded 10 runs, the second most expensive of the innings so far. But as we mentioned, no real pure batsmen out there at the moment. They're getting towards the tail end, the Shaheens.
Crouch again, back of a length, short cover, quick single, cover comes in, sidearm throw. Just misses the stumps. Tight single. Pakistan Sheehans looking to take what they can here. Put a bit of pressure back onto the Perth Scorchers fielders.
And that's sort of how they've had to do it these last 5 or 6 overs or so. Just finding the opportunity and running as quick as they can. The calling has been good, quite clear. Maybe they did learn from that run out you mentioned on Thursday night, Carl.
Crouch returns to the crease to Masood. Beaten outside off stump. Dot ball as it carries through nicely to the wicketkeeper, Holt. Well, you mentioned the umpires for today, Rob Stewart and Simon Burns. It's not only the local Darwin talent that gets to see some elite cricket here, but Rob Stewart, local umpire in Darwin and District's competition, president of the match officials, doing a great job standing here in this elite cricket that we have on display through the Darwin Top End T20 Series. Crouch again, full outside off, cover drive, just squirted out to cover for a single. to bring Aziz back onto strike.
Been slow start for the partnership of Aziz and Masood. Between them, 5 runs off 10 balls. And the partnership still just at 2 at the moment. Both those runs going to Aziz.
Crouch, back of the length, leg side, pulled. Unable to make too much contact as the ball makes its way down a fine leg. It will be 1 off the bat to Masood. So able to rotate the strike here. Singles off the last couple of deliveries. Still got the 5 fielders out. Deep point, deep third, deep fine, deep backward square and deep mid wicket. So mid off, mid on cover in the circle as well as backward point. Crouch full, trying to get driven through mid off. Will just be the single as the fielder comes around to collect. So tidy over the second. Crouch had 10 off his first, so he'll be more comfortable with only the 4 runs off that over. Score's made its way to 6 for 58.
And after 12 overs, they would have hoped for more than that. They're tracking it. I'm trying to do some quick maths here, Carl, but not very much. Not quite 5 and over even.
No, it's almost at the point where you may as well hit out and get bowled out in the 15th over rather than just knocking the ball around and making 120. I would have thought you need at least 140 to defend. Holt resumes. That one's pulled out to the leg side and just dropped. Very similar to the wicket of Faiq. Holt back of a length. Masood deep in his crease, pulled the ball out. Was it Kelly again, the fielder at mid-wicket? Had to dive slightly to his right and the ball just spilled out. The batters were able to make their way back for 2. Holt resumes. This one's full outside off stump and just driven out to cover for a single.
Don't know how loudly we're projecting, Carl, but it sounds like they've heard you. They're not going to go down wondering. A few big swings this over already.
Holt returns full. Aggressive shot from Aziz out to the long on boundary. Just the one, but I think we are seeing that intent. The Shaheens batters have decided that, yeah, a score of just plodding along to 100 isn't going to be enough. May as well hit out or get out. So will we see the tempo start to increase? Holt flighted up, hit out to long on. Oh!
Misfielded at long on.
Makes its way through the fielder for 4 runs. Brodie Crouch coming off the boundary there. It was one of those ones where he might have been trying to dive forward to claim the catch, but couldn't get there. And on the half volley, the ball was just able to defeat him, make its way for its first boundary in a long time, Will.
Yeah, in fact, since the 5th over, since then, they've dropped 3 wickets and really only managed singles, the odd 2 here or there. Another one there. They had to be opportunistic, and they have been, but it was good to get a boundary. Maybe that'll get them back into a swing of things.
So Holt's looking to close out his 3rd over. Tidy figures of 2 for 18 and the dropped catch in this over. Back into Aziz. Straight. Cutaway backward of point. Single to close out. So the score remains at 6 for 67 after 13. Tidy figures for Luke Holt. Finishes his 4 overs with 2 for 18. As we can hear some support from the Pakistan fans coming through the audio. They had a great representation from the community here on Thursday night in celebration for Pakistan Independence Day in that match against Bangladesh. They had plenty of cheer for that night, Will, but yeah, it's been hard going so far.
Yeah, it's been a really tough start for them. Losing those 3 early wickets in the first 3 overs didn't help at all. 3 of them, they're heroes essentially from that Thursday night match, but it's great to see the atmosphere being lifted here nonetheless. And what I've found about these international crowds particularly is they're sort of just cheering for good cricket as well. It's not just their own team, it's for good shots and good wickets from the other sides as well.
Rockacholi returns to the crease. Back of a length. Again, dot ball just to mid-wicket. I would have thought the Sheehan batters are thinking about the power surge. It may be something that's a little bit foreign to them, being a big bash introduction, but they do have that up the sleeve. Rockacholi again is able to find a dot with that back of a length ball. Quick of pace, so a power surge for those that are unfamiliar. 2 overs of power play where only 2 fielders are allowed outside the inner ring. Rockacholi takes the pace off that one, is able to get a bit of bounce out of the crease as we see the wicketkeeper Holt jumping out of his crouch to collect that one, and that's 3 dots in a row. So, wow, look at the figures of Rockacholi here. He's into his 4th, only the 11 runs off his bowling. Fuller this one, worked back, trying to find the mid-on fielder for a single, but again, Rockacholi's able to collect off his own bowling. 4 dots in a row, you don't often see that in a T20. Will, could we on for the first maiden of the competition? And
misfielded again.
Full length ball, I think that was a catch to cover. Just burst through the hands. Rockacholi could have had that maiden that we talked about, but Masood was able to gain a life again. His 2nd for the innings, and he came back for 2. The first runs off this over of Rockacholi. Now to close out, it's Fuller again, driven backward of point just for a single. So again, no damage off the over. Rockacholi's been in full control for his 4 overs, 1 for 14. The score is now 6 for 70.
Yeah, Rockacholi has certainly been the pick of the bunch so far. I only picked up the 1 wicket, but to concede just 14 runs in 4 overs is phenomenal bowling, and part of the reason why Pakistan find themselves at only 70 after 14 overs. I think they're chasing it, 3 runs and over at the moment, which is not really enough to get them to a competitive total.
Another bowling change from the airport end. Matthew Kelly returning to the crease, and he set the tone early. Wicket in his 1st over, wicket in his 2nd over. Can he come back and close out these final wickets for the Perth Scorchers? They'll be looking to make light work of this remaining overs. Kelly to Masood, it's down leg side. So starts with the wide, just straying down leg there. But they've been super economical, these Perth scorching bowling attack. Little that the free hits that the Pakistan Sheehans can get away.
You wonder why they haven't gone for that power play yet, particularly when they are down 6 batsmen already. You'd want to make sure you've got your best batsmen in to use that power play, and your big hitters yet to activate it though.
Kelly again, back of a length, tight, no room or to free the arms, back of a length to Masood, and again we've just seen a lot of balls just hit to cover, hit back to the bowler, hit to the short mid-wicket when the spinners have been on, such as Rockacholi's. Just been too many dot balls in this innings for the Pakistan Sheehans. They lost their firepower early and just haven't been able to put any pressure back onto the Perth Scorchers. Back of a length, slower ball from Kelly, slow ball bouncer. Masood was able to adjust, pulled the ball out to backward square, but again, just a single. We just haven't been able to see any 2s, 3s. It's a big ground here at TIO Stadium. There are pockets where you can try and accumulate your score without having to hit boundaries. But to this point, the Pakistan Shihans have really just been able to find singles. Kelly to Aziz. Short again. Aziz dances down the wicket. Single out to long on.
And they haven't only still have hit that one boundary since the 5th over, almost from a misfield as well. You thought maybe that's going to be the start of something, but since then, and even around them, they've only really managed singles in the odd 2 where they can.
Will, as you mentioned though, with each team only playing 6 matches and the Scorchers having lost game 1, the Shihans having won game 1, it's all building to a very tight table. Kelly returns, that pulled out to mid-on, nicely timed, so the fielder is able to run around and collect for just the single. Better timing on that shot from Aziz. As we see maybe a bat replacement out here for Masood. I wonder if it will come with a message from the dugout to think about taking that power surge and just try and get some momentum back in the corner of the Pakistan Shihans. Those 2 overs, if you could get 10, 15, even an over of 20 off, can it just give you a little bit of hope to the bowlers as we approach the innings break? Kelly to Aziz, back into his crease, gets across his stumps. So again, another risk trying to be proactive, but it just hasn't come off, as most things in this Pakistan Shihans innings just haven't gone their way when they've tried to put some pressure back on. Aziz getting deep in his crease, trying to work into the leg side. Kelly taking his 2nd LBW for the innings and his 3rd wicket. Now has the impressive figures of 3 for 13. And the Pakistan Shihans lose their 7th wicket with a score only on 74.
It doesn't look like the new bat didn't much help, unfortunately, for Aziz. He's gone 5 off 9 balls. Masood is still out there. It seems like he's the danger man at the moment, or more so the most constructive for the Pakistani side. Almost 15 overs through, and well, they've held tight, but you're probably looking now, Carl, at least surely that's when they bring on that power surge and they think, let's just go out swinging, let's have a crack at building a total rather than not quite living up to anything and getting through the 20 overs.
Nothing to hold back for now as Wasim Jr. makes his way to the crease. Number 74. Can he do anything to find the boundary here and just try and get this score at least into triple figures? As Kelly comes back for the final ball, back of a length. Sort of cramped for room into the armpit there, but Wasim is able to get enough bat on to find a single and conclude the over, the 15th over. The score has now made its way to 75.
So they're tracking to get about 100 if they can continue that. 75 or 15, 25 every 5 overs. It's not really a competitive score. And given it is the tail enders, they might not even quite reach there. Masood, he has built something now, started to build something. 17 runs, he's on off 20. And Wasim Jr. is now off the mark with 1 off 1. Coming back into the bowling attack now, Bryce Jackson. He got a wicket in his first over as well. 1 for 13, his figures at the moment.
So here's Jackson to Wasim Jr. Full, another appeal for LBW, and it's out again. The 4th LBW of the innings. We've seen the Perth Scorchers consistently attack full and straight. Wasim Jr. only able to last the 2 deliveries. Again, looking to get deep in his crease, potentially playing across the line. disappointing for the right arm quick. He would have been looking to just add a few runs to his name. But unfortunately, it's another wicket departing for the Pakistan Shaheens. Bryce Jackson collects his second wicket for the innings. And all of the Perth Scorchers bowlers now claiming multiple wickets. They've really done a number on the Shaheens here.
Yeah, really, really good innings so far from the Perth Scorchers, and I think they've balanced their lineup really well. A few overs ago, just when you thought maybe they're going to start powering away, they brought in Corey Rockacholi for his final over, and he just quelled that run rate again. And then bring in the two big guns who started the downfall of Pakistan, Max Kelly and Bryce Jackson, and already one wicket each in this second spell for the two of them.
Yeah, plenty to like with Bryce Jackson. 25-year-old quick. Still with plenty to offer. Higher honours, WA and beyond. As he comes back into Shah. Bit more width there. Almost the first bit of width we've seen all innings. Little misfield down at deep third, but the batters were happy to just walk through for a single. Bringing Masood back onto strike. It's been really noticeable, Will, from the Perth Scorchers, just how tight they've bowled. They've really honed in at the stumps, haven't given the Pakistan Shaheens any space to free their arms.
Yeah, it's been really, really tight bowling today, and just when you think someone's getting on a roll, they get shut down pretty quick.
Jackson again, big swing, unable to make any meaningful contact as it just trickles down to fine leg for a single. Another single to Masood. He's approaching 20. He'll have sights on being the leading run scorer of the innings if he can just close out these remaining overs.
Couch coming in now. It's a bouncer.
Bryce Jackson made an impressive debut for WA in the 2024 season back in February against Tasmania. Took 3 wickets on debut, which went towards also booking their berth for the final that season against New South Wales. Jackson returns, beats the outside edge. Shah there, beaten for pace. Another dot ball, so showing some impressive skills in his third over.
Yeah, he is. Bryce Jackson, he's keeping it really tight again. Just making sure that they're not really getting much opportunity to strike here, Pakistan. Just 2 from this over so far. And a man down.
Just to continue that impressive start to Bryce Jackson's career in his second match, he took 6 for 31, the best figures by a WA bowler in one-day cup history.
No run squeeze through there from Pakistan.
So an interesting end to the end of the 16. Masood denying the single off the last ball of the over to Shah, so it does look like he wants to face the majority of the remaining balls and do what he can to try and take the Pakistan Shaheens to somewhat of a total here, Will.
Yeah, and I think he's probably got right to do so at the moment. He's only on 18, but already he's the second highest run scorer for the side behind Mohammed Fake. 21 off 23 he scored. Masood probably the man who's a little bit more settled out there. I wonder if we'll see him go for a swing if he's made the call to face. You'd hope he's got good reason to do so, Carl.
going to be Crouch again from the airport end, bowling to Masood, who denied that single. It's a full ball, and he's got all of that. So full on leg stump, banged that 6. That's gone a long way. That might be out of the stadium. Masood showing it was the right decision to stay on strike for the start of the 17th over. He started with the maximum.
Yeah, he wouldn't be too upset with that if you're Ubed Shah. Massive 6, probably one of the biggest ones we've seen so far today here at TIO Stadium. And the crowd pretty happy with that too. Looks like it's no ball as well, so that's maximum value. That's gone 7 runs it's added to their total.
Certainly the loosest delivery we've seen all innings. Crouch under pressure, free hit to Masood. It's full and it's flexed up. It's gone again. Flayed out. 6 more. Can this be the over that brings life to the game? Pakistan Shihan fans have found some voice in the outer. Back-to-back 6s. Masood's made his way to 30 off 23. Can this be a little rear guard action from the Pakistan Shihans?
Now their top scorer, 30 off 23. And we've sort of been calling for this for almost half of their innings, Carl. Finally, he's on a roll. What comes next?
Crouch, third ball, full, wide. Out to deep backward, no run. Masood probably deciding to stay on crease, on strike, and they have taken the power surge to fill the audience in at home. So only the 2 fielders out, so that's a representation of the aggression that Masood is starting to take. He's got a deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket, so boundary options to the offside and back past the bowler if Crouch bowls full. Crouch to Masood. Back of a length, pulled out to mid-wicket. Can they get back for 2? Mid-wicket comes around, fumbles, so they will get back for the second to keep Masood on strike. So important that he can face the majority of the balls in this power surge, Will.
Yeah, it's suddenly at 92 and there's 3 overs left. They could still get, I want to say, an acceptable total, Carl. They could still get something on this. They could still get maybe 30 runs off this if they hit it right and they time it right. That would leave them with 120. It's not the highest total they can reach for, but it's something that, with some luck, they can defend.
Still 3 balls remaining. Crouch to Masood, dances down, hits hard to mid-on. Fielder comes around, saves the boundary. Just the single, so we'll have Ubad Shah to face 2 balls remaining. You think they've still got 2 wickets in the shed. I'd be surprised if they took a single, so it might just be swing and hope for the best for Shah here. He's got 2 fielders out to the leg side. Even if he could just find a little bit of bat to get the ball down to deep third or deep fine. Just keep putting a bit of pressure back onto Crouch here, who, for as well as the Perth Scorchers bowlers have gone today, has the figures of none for 30 off 24. Crouch to Shah. Back of a length, short.
Massive swing there.
So it went over the shoulder, deemed to be a legal delivery. Dot ball. A big swing from Shah, but unable to connect. As Masood comes down and gives a little bit of advice, which I dare might be saying, we're not taking a single. Try and get me a 2, 4, or even better, 6. Crouch returns to Ubad Shah. Slower ball, and he has got a hold of it. The tail ender, Ubad Shah, clobbers it over the mid-wicket boundary for 6. What an over for the Pakistan Shihans. Gives them some hope in this match. The score's made its way to 8 for 99. A big over off the bowling of Brodie Crouch.
Yeah, 22 they got off that over, and you can hear the crowd getting into it as well. They're very happy with how this tail end, led by Saeed Masood has really come on. 99 for 8. I said, Carl, if they can manage to get up to 120, that'd be something that they can defend with some luck. That's now looking relatively likely now with 3 overs still to come.
Yeah, I said almost optimistically that Masood was looking for a 2 or 4 or ideally a 6, and the tail ender, Saar, got a whole lot of that shot. Okay, as we return back to Masood, and he's taking it on. Flied over, deep long on. It'll just be the 2. Scampering back for a second there. So this second over of the power surge, Pakistan Shaheens will be looking to capitalise as this rearguard action late into their innings. The fans haven't had a whole lot to celebrate, but they've found voice here, the Pakistani crowd. Bryce Jackson from the Michael Long end, full, worked into the onside, will just be the single there. Masood happy to take the single, bringing Shah back onto strike after he showed what he was able to do in that final ball of the last over.
And I think that gives you confidence if you're Masood as well, knowing I'm not out here alone. I've got someone else who can have a swing and get some results from it as well. Maybe finally they'll build a partnership that they can build upon.
Yeah, just having a discussion in the middle of the crease. Will he look to go again or just get the set Masood back onto strike? Full delivery, hit out to mid-off, no single, probably a good call. Let's have a strong, stable base, but just wasn't able to beat the mid-off fielder there. Again, they've gone with the deep backward square and deep mid-wicket as the 2 fielders out. Jackson's looking to bowl full and straight, backing himself to either get through the aggression or claim another LB or bowled. Jackson to Shah. It's full again, hits it short cover, just in front of the fielder, gets through for a single. Bringing Masood back onto strike. Masood did have those 2 lives early in his innings and starting to capitalise on that now, Will.
Yeah, a little bit more misfielding the last few overs. Maybe the Scorchers are a little bit fatigued out there. There's been a few more mistakes almost ever since that that second boundary we had sort of later in the innings. They really need to just stay alert for the last 3 overs.
Jackson to Masood, back of the length. Looks to pull out to the leg side, but unable to make contact. Just a little bit wide. See him rehearsing the sort of glide over mid-off. Deep third might have been a better shot. So this will be the final ball. It's been a good response from Jackson in the second of his power surge overs. Only the 4 off from the 5 deliveries. He'll be looking to close out now. Crouch full. Flicked off leg peg. Masood's found 6 again. What a shot. Strong wrist. It was full and on leg stump. And Masood was able to just pick it up with great timing. Those subcontinent shots that you see. And
Not quite caught in the crowd, unfortunately, there, Carl, but that was an absolutely beautiful one. He's hit it straight into where all the fans are congregated as well. Take a look at this here.
Right into the contingent of Pakistani fans. Unable to take the catch there, but they'll be thrilled with what they're seeing from Masood. He's made his way to 42 off 30. A great end to the power surge. Pakistan Shaheens have made their way to 8 for 109, and if they can capitalise on these last 2 overs with 10 or more off, well, maybe they do have something to defend.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 more overs. They managed another 10 there, and importantly, crossed that triple figure mark. Looks like coming in is going to be Brodie Couch again. I think this will be the last of his 4 overs here. In fact, it will be one way or the other.
So he's under a bit of pressure here, Crouch. In that first power surge over, his last, he looked to bowl straight to the protection at deep square and deep mid-wicket, but the Pakistan Shaheens batters were too good. They were able to clear the boundary 3 times to the leg side. So will he look to adjust and bowl a little bit wider outside off stump. We've seen a deep point and deep cover go back to the fence, so he has a bit more protection now he's out of the power surge. So it's Crouch to Shah, full, and it is outside off stump. Shah looking to the leg side again, unable to make contact. So good execution from Crouch there. He'll be looking to close out his final over and protect some of the damage that's been done to his figures so far today, Will.
Yeah, he did concede 22 in that last over that you mentioned, 3 boundaries off it. Prior to that, he was okay. He conceded 4 and he also conceded 10. So not too bad before then, but none for 36 at the moment. Be hoping to get some reward for effort here.
Crouch into Shah. Back of a length and bowled. A big slog to the leg side. And while he did get that one away, Shah, you've got to think, was that the right play? You've got Masood on 42 or 30 at the non-striker's end. And now it's going to be 3 deliveries in this second last over that he won't get to face. So maybe just getting carried away with himself there was by Shah.
And reward finally came for Brodie Couch, who's had a pretty good innings, bar that 122 concession. In now comes Faisal Akram, the final man to take to the field for Pakistan.
That was a big slog across the line from Shahi there. He certainly gave it everything, but unable to connect. Crouch was able to hit the timber, claim the 9th wicket for the Perth Scorchers, and now just 1 wicket in the shed for the Pakistan Shaheens. They've got Masood at the non-striker's end. Can Fasil Akram just get a bit of bat or a leg by to get Masood back onto strike? They need him to face the majority of these final 10 balls of the innings. Interesting to see if Perth Scorchers look to bring any fielders up into the ring to deny the single. Looks like they're happy to keep the 5 fielders out, or they are talking about it now. Mid-wicket will come into the ring, so they'll bring at least 1 fielder up to try and keep Akram on strike and Masood at the non-striker's end. Crouch to the left-handed Akram. Full. Back in his crease. They'll take the single. Oh, shy. It would have been out. Backward point got across well. Collected. Was unable to hit the stumps, and Shaheens get what they want with Masood back on strike. Probably an outside chance of getting to his half-century here, Will.
Yeah, I think you'd say so. I was just looking at the maths there and thinking 4 balls left in this over. They can't really sit and wait. So either they would have had to have Akram go swinging or try and get that single. And they really brushed it there, didn't they? If that was on point, that would have gone and sent them packing.
Crouch to Masood. Again, across the line. Unable to make contact. Probably just not reading what the bowler might be thinking here. He's adjusted his line for this over. Crouch bowling a little bit wider with the protection at deep cover and deep backward point. Just try and maybe give yourself some room and try and clear mid-off might be the go here for Masood. 4 balls gone in this, the 19th over. And that one is wide of the crease. Masood just stays still in his crease. He's happy to let that one go past outside the tram track, and he'll have another look. So it looks like he's adjusted his tactics, understanding what Crouch might be trying to do here, and that's the game of cat and mouse as you reach the end of a T20 innings. What's the bowler trying to do? What's the batter trying to do? Who's going to come out on top? Crouch again.
Skies it.
Straight up in the air, mid-off, coming around, protecting himself from the sun. Easily held, and that is the end to the Pakistan Shaheen innings. Masood doing what he could with a well-made 44, a rear guard, back of the end innings, counter-attack to find the boundaries and make 42 off 32. The Pakistan Shaheens are well short of what they would have been hoping, losing their 10 wickets for 111. Perth Scorchers are able to really control the innings from start to finish. Early wickets to Kelly, controlled through the middle of the spin of Corey Rocacholi and Luke Holt before Bryce Jackson and Brodie Crouch closed out the remaining wickets there, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was an important way from a Scorchers perspective for them to end the innings that way. I think maybe it could have been a little bit demoralising if Pakistan had reached out maybe to 120, even 130. It probably wouldn't have gotten quite that high, but to keep them so low, to have them only stretch out to 130, that could have been a little bit demoralising perhaps for the batters. But for them to end that innings on their terms, I think is really important.
So we see the Perth Scorchers wander off the field. They'll be super pleased with their bowling effort in that first innings. Only the 112 to chase for victory, while the Pakistan Sheheen bowlers are straight out to the middle. They will need to claim early wickets if they're any chance in this match, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. In that first game on Thursday night, it was more about the batting, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do in terms of bowling. They did keep that Bangladesh side to a pretty small total. I think it was about 165 though, so still a lot of work needing to be done by the Pakistan bowling attack. And this is how the innings went. It was some early wickets to some key figures early. Great catch there. And Max Kelly and Bryce Jackson really set them up with some wickets in those first 3 overs, getting rid of the big 3. But as you mentioned in that innings, Carl, I think all 5 of the bowlers took multiple wickets.
You're
exactly sharing the love.
Right there. Matthew Kelly again with the pick of the figures, taking 3 for 14. Bryce Jackson chiming in with 2 for 25, while really impressed with the spin duo of Corey Rocacholi, who took 1 for 14 off his 4 overs, so incredible economy rate of 3.5, while the wrist spin of Luke Holt was able to take 2 for 18. We'll be back for the second innings after a short break from our sponsors.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
When you move here, it's not just for work, it's for life. Here, culture isn't something you leave behind. It's something you bring with you and share. Great jobs, no long commutes, and weekends that start as soon as Friday ends. From the red desert to the tropical north, this place doesn't just welcome you, it transforms you. Australia's Northern Territory. New boundaries, new territory.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium in Darwin, Australia, as we're here for match 8 of the 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. My name is Carl Main. I'm joined here by Will Zwar, and Will, only the 112 to chase for the Perth Scorchers after an impressive bowling performance against the Pakistan Shaheens.
Yeah, look, it's not the highest total that we've seen this tournament by a long shot, but without, with some good bowling, it's just definitely defendable, and Perth Scorchers will need to be on their game. They'll need to make sure that just as they dismantled the top order of Pakistan, they don't themselves get sent back for some early sums. I think looking at the scores from those top three, who was so dominant on Thursday night, 3 runs, a duck and 2 runs. So their top 3 hitters for just 5 runs total, simply not good enough. But if you look at the Scorchers lineup, so far until today, Teague Wiley, he had the highest score of the competition with 67. And Joel Curtis, I think he's quite credentialed at Big Bash level as well.
Yep. No, you mentioned that top score of the tournament. Well, that's just been blown away. An incredible match in Game 7 saw the Hobart Hurricanes paced 227 for the loss of 3 wickets off their 20 overs, led by Bradley Hope making 81 off 51. But get this, Will, the Melbourne Stars chased it down with Tom Rogers making 128 off 65 balls. So we've got our first century of the tournament, well supported by Sam Harper, who made 50 off 35.
There you go, massive total. That's bigger than what Pakistan's managed over here on TIO Stadium, where the Perth Scorchers, they will be chasing 112 for the win. So yeah, big innings ahead. Obviously that total of 127 it was set by Tom Rogers won't quite be broken here, but there is still the opportunity for some of those Perth Scorchers to get onto it if they want to. In saying that, however, we did see a lot of wickets fall earlier, and it just might be a bowler's day earlier today as well. ACT, they fell for a total of just 106, so we haven't really had some massive scores scored here in these sort of daytime and twilight games. If you think back to Thursday, 227 I think is what Pakistan ended up on, so it is possible, but these different conditions between the day games and the night games is vastly different.
So as we see the players making their way into position to start this second innings, Sam Fanning, the captain, on strike, waiting for confirmation who will open the bowling. It looks like Vaid will open the bowling for the Pakistan Shaheens. He'll be looking for early wickets to get the Shaheens up and about. In this match, we've got a deep square leg, a deep third man as the 2 fielders out. 1 slip. Can they find a bit of movement with this new ball? A bit of swing to put a bit of pressure back onto the Perth Scorchers with this run chase. Here's Shah to start the second innings. Full straight. Single out to 2 points. Brings Teagan Wiley onto strike. The star batter from the Scorchers' first innings, and a bright prospect, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at his previous game, he's, as I said, 67, which at the time was the top score for the competition. And I think that one came despite a loss as well. So I had a very good innings yesterday against the Kingsmen.
Yeah, previously the leading run scorer for Australia at the 2022 Under-19 World Cup. He's certainly in high regard as an emerging talent for Australian cricket. Teagan Wiley on strike here. Shah bowls, full defended to cover, no run. Be interesting to see the approach from the opening batters from the Perth Scorchers. Will they look to knock this off quickly and get as many as they can in the power play, or are they happy just being circumspect, few risks, and trying to just take this down and take it late?
I think they might try and take a few big hits and try and chip away at that total, and it's not a huge one to get for. It's already less than 1 a ball, and it started with less than 1 a ball. I think from the top, just 111 off 118. But if they can sort of chip away at it, or take some chunks out of it rather, and they can just sort of worry about chipping away at it later on. They've got a bit of room to do so as well.
Wiley gets off the mark with the single to mid-on. We talked about Tegan Wiley's form and performances in the Under-19 World Cup. Well, Usbi Shah also performed well. He picked up 18 wickets at an average of less than 14 when he played in the Under-19 World Cup. So 2 emerging stars on display here in the Top End Series. Fanning back on strike now. Shah is full into leg stump, well driven, wide of mid-on. Fanning pushes back for a second. They'll think about a third, and they will come back. Able to just work that into the gap. Full ball on leg stump. Fanning will take confidence from finding the middle of the bat early in his innings. Sam Fanning, another one of the product out of the cricket mentoring program run by former first-class player Tom Scalare, and he's done a fantastic job with many players who are up in this top-end series this season. Shah back to Willie.
Good fielding there. Would have been coming back pretty quick at him.
So the first innings, we're able to see the Perth Scorchers claim wickets in the first, second and third over to really break the back of the opening batters of the Pakistan Shaheens, and they just really were unable to get any momentum through their power play. Wiley and Fanning have navigated the first oval so far. Shah to close out the first. Comes into Wiley, driven firmly to mid-on, no run. Shy at the bowler's end is backed up, and that closes out the first. No damage done for the Scorchers. That will be the main item on their agenda, while for the Pakistan Shaheens, they need wickets.
Yeah, I think both teams would be somewhat happy with that start. Could have been easy for, particularly looking at Fanning and Wiley's resume, for them to come out swinging and hit a couple of boundaries, but they've just sort of eased into it as well. Obviously, they'll need to do better than that consistently throughout the innings, but I think just finding their feet on the ground is not a bad approach. Pakistan as well, they would have been, again, happy. Would have loved to have seen a wicket fall, but wasn't to be in that first over. Coming in now to the attack. And I think it's going to be Saad Masood, who nearly was the hero there. He piled on a lot of runs and ended up being their top scorer. I think he ended with about 42.
As he comes in here to the left-handed Fanning, who's able to collect a single down to mid-on off the first ball of Masood's over. No, super impressive. Coming in towards the mid-ladder order, Masood, he capitalised in the power play, was able to clear the boundary, so to have 42 against his name, he'll come to the bowling crease with confidence.
42 off 30 he ended up with, and 3 sixes as you're talking about his boundaries there, Carl. Very good input with the bat. Now his turn with the ball.
Bowling to the right-handed Wiley. Or Rongan first up out the back of the hands. Just sort of made its way to point for no run. Good start for Masood as he comes in again. Swept, beats the 2 fielders on the leg-hand side. Fine legs chasing hard, slides to the boundary, is able to collect, but they'll come back for Another three, second three early in the Scorchers innings. I don't think we saw 1-3 for the Pakistan Shehans. So it was really dots and then the odd boundary. Dots, ones, and the odd boundary.
Yeah, a lot of the time when you thought that maybe that is a three, they almost picked out the fielder perfectly, and it just wasn't quite there. They were quite good at picking those singles and even getting twos, but not many opportunities for the three.
Masood to Fanning, swept again, this time closer to the fine fielder. They'll just scamper through for a single. Masood took 3 for 30 in the first game against Bangladesh. Didn't open the bowling, came on as the fourth over of that innings, but obviously like what they saw and think that he might be able to take some wickets early in this innings. Comes in again to Wiley. Defended onto the onside. They scamper through for another single. They've been able to rotate the strike with this left-hand, right-hand combination. Score's made its way to 11 with no damage.
Keeping him on watch. Some very tight fielding there. Yet to break through for a boundary, this batting pair.
Masood to close out the second. Bowls to Fanning. Swept, grabbed a bit of pad, but looked to be sliding down. Passionate appeal for LBW's denied. And that closes out the second over. The score is none for 12. Circumspect start here by the Perth Scorchers, but they will be comfortable. The required run rate is under 6 runs per over, so under a run a ball. They need 100 from the remaining 18 overs.
And the Scorchers, as we mentioned, they played the exact same time slot here on yesterday, 24 hours ago. Pakistan against Bangladesh. That was a night game, so a little bit more dew on the ground, maybe a little bit wetter in the outfield. I think the Scorchers probably a little bit more familiar with the exact conditions that they're batting to at the moment. But they haven't quite seemed settled despite not too many blemishes so far.
Ubaid Shah for the third over. Bowls to Fanning and fine leg. Fine leg was up in the ring, so making the most. Fielder does a good job to prevent the boundary. They'll run back for another 3 runs. So inventive from Fanning, bringing the scoop out early. Looking to show his 360 game. We've got deep third and deep square out, so whilst we're in the power play, looking to put pressure back onto the Pakistan Shehans.
Yeah, that looks a lot more comfortable for Fanning there.
Has brought about a change in the field. Sorry, no, that's the right-handed Wiley with the third man going back. So deep square leg and deep third are the 2 fielders out. Tegan Wiley, he's on 5 off 7. Shah bowls full to... Oh, what a catch! That will be the catch of the tournament. Wow, exactly what the Pakistan Shehans needed. Shah straight onto leg stump. Wiley got plenty of it. It looked to be racing away for 4, and then the outstretched one-handed from the Pakistan Shehan fielder was a screamer. Wait till you get this on replay. Will, that's as good a catch as you're going to see.
Yeah, that was amazing. That one, as you said, it was sort of escaping away for a boundary line, but he's just stretched out as far as he can, almost gripped it in his fingertips, and yeah, as you said, that's probably going to be catch of the tournament. It'd be hard to beat that one.
Plucked it out of the skies. Just got his face to us. We'll make sure we get the fielder's name for you, but that is exactly what the Pakistan Shehans needed. Tegan Wiley was the glue for the Perth Scorchers in game 1. He made 67 out of 140, No one else scored over 20. So that was the key wicket for the Shaheens. If they can take 1 or 2 more wickets here, they will feel they're right in the game. And we know that when the Pakistan team gets on a roll, they can be hard to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw that on Friday night. It was their batters who got onto a roll, but you just feel like there's a lot of energy in those green uniforms out there, and particularly from the crowd. That's where the noise is coming from. It's from the Pakistan fans. They will be willing this team to take a few more wickets in quick succession.
That brings Joel Curtis to the crease. Left-hander, made his Shield debut last year, made 100 in one of those games. Shah comes in, and that's leg side again. This time, work down to the fine leg boundary for 4. Along the ground this time, a similar delivery to the one that took the wicket, but this time Curtis gets off the mark and he can have a sigh of relief. His campaign is underway, Will.
Yeah, possibly a little deeper, this Scorchers batting lineup, but Curtis will be very happy. One of those inclusions tonight, and as you said, first ball of the tournament for him, and he's gotten his first boundary as well.
Joel Curtis will know these conditions well. He's been a regular to the Darwin through the dry season. Shah comes into him again. Driven through the offside this time. Lovely timing. Into the gap for 4 more. What a start, Joel Curtis. Back-to-back boundaries. First ball just helped on its way down a fine leg, and that was an elegant shot from the left-hander. Got the half volley outside off stump and just caressed it through the covers. Doesn't all need to be big hitting sixes in T20. If you can find the gaps early in the power play, you can still put the bowlers under a lot of pressure.
In comes Shah now.
Defended the 5th ball off the over. The score 1 for 23. 3rd over with another wicket. We'll try and get one, at least another one in this power play of 4 overs.
Oh, he's panicked a little bit there. I think he wanted to go for it, but was told to wait from Fanning down the other end. And after the 3rd over, the Perth Scorchers 1 for 23, chasing 111 runs. At the same time, Pakistan just 3 for 12. That's right, they'd already lost 3 wickets by this stage and half their score. So they're on the right track, the Perth Scorchers. They just need to maintain their progress.
So it will be Masood to continue from the Michael Long centre end. Bowling to the left-handed Fanning, who's made his way to 10 off 6. Swept again. This will be 4. Well played by Fanning. Just straight onto the leg side. Had a free hit at that. Was able to clear the fielder in the ring at square leg and helped himself to an easy 4. He's made his way to 14 off 7 now, Fanning, and looking comfortable.
Yeah, did that with ease, didn't he? It just looked very comfortable. Didn't need to put too much effort into it. Just guided it over to the boundary line there.
As we're just waiting confirmation that it was Shahid Aziz that took that stunning catch in the last over. I'm sure we'll be seeing that again on the socials. Back in his crease. And given! Similar shot. Fanning looks to believe that it may have been sliding down. Pakistan Shaheens get exactly what they need. 2 wickets inside the power play. Fanning took 4 off the first ball with a similar delivery. This time just shot through a little lower, a little quicker, a passionate appeal. You can see the Shaheens arm in arm. They've taken 2 wickets in the first 3 overs. They'll feel that they're alive, even though they've only got a small total of 111 on the board.
Yeah, I think this is the key. If they can sort of prove that, you know, what happened to us in our innings isn't just because we're not a good cricket side, it's because you guys bowled well and we can bowl just as well as you, then maybe it'll put some doubt into the Scorchers' mind there. But to drop their opening two batsmen for a combined total of 19 runs, the score at the moment 2 for 27, it's not exactly boding well for the Perth Scorchers. Still ahead, but they just need to make sure they don't lose any more cheap wickets, and maybe this is where they take stock a little bit.
Brings to the crease wicketkeeper Baxter Holt, batting 4 for the Perth Scorchers today. 25-year-old. Looking to build a partnership to just restore some confidence to the Scorchers dugout. There'll be a few concerns having lost the 2 wickets in quick succession. Masood's first ball pulled. Again beats the fielders on the leg side between backward square and deep fine. A good dive keeps it just to the 2 runs. Holt is off the mark with his first ball. Just having a look at the field for Masood. We've got deep mid-off, deep mid-wicket. Comes in for this 4th delivery. Holt is sweeping chalk end off the toe of the bat, just trickles to mid-on for a single. Still some signs of aggression there, Will, so indicating that they might be happy to continue to put pressure back on the Pakistan Shaheens. They're not concerned with losing the 2 early wickets. They're happy to keep trying to find the boundary.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of again, it's a tightrope walk. You want to make sure that you're not backing off too much. Maybe it's just reducing the risk a little bit. And again, these 2 batsmen, they're both new in here and they need to just settle themselves on the field there. Good shot down the line there. And just a single, though, for Joel Curtis.
Baxter Holt joined WA ahead of the 2024-25 season after playing 12 first-class games and 6 One-Day Cup appearances with New South Wales. Dashing wicketkeeper that likes to take the game on. Masood short, brings out the reverse sweep. It's backward of point, a little misfield. Denies any chance of a run out, and that does conclude the 4th over. So the power play is over with the score at 2 for 32. Will give us a comparison to how that fared from the first 4 overs from the Pakistan Shaheens.
Yeah, by that stage they were 3 for 23, and barred that over where they conceded, well, they scored, I should say, 22 runs in the 17th over. That was their most expensive, their most successful one. They scored a 6 and a 4. I think both of those went to Mohammed Fake for his ill-timed departure. But the Perth Scorchers, as you can see by the scoreworm there, just doing a little bit better and obviously have that 1 extra wicket in hand. Be tough to have lost Teague Wiley, who was their top scorer on 67, but they'd be confident with the batters that they have at the helm that they can keep going and put away that total relatively comfortably.
Change of bowler from the airport end, Wasim Jr. into the action. He'll bowl to the right-handed Holt as we see the field go back with the 5 fielders out. Back of a length, look to pull over mid-wicket. Unable to make contact. We saw a few wickets of similar ilk in the Pakistan Shaheens innings, playing across the line. Holt survives on this occasion. Wasim took the 2 for 24 off 2 overs in his opening match against Bangladesh. Again, was the first change bowler. Returns to the crease here. Back of a length. Beats the backward point fielder. So they'll be able to come back for a second. Just a slight misfield as the fielder dived to his left. Holt adds 2 more to the total. Wasim Jr. has played the 2 test matches for Pakistan, debuting against England in Karachi. As he comes in again to Holt, who looks to pull again. Again, I think he's just lucky to survive. Not getting bowled there. He's exposing all 3 stumps. The ball's shooting through. Definitely not going over. Just wonder whether he would be better off looking to play down the ground with a straight bat. No real risks required here for the Perth Scorchers. If they can just accumulate with 2s and 3s, that required run rate still well under 6 and over, almost under 5. Needs 78 runs to get. More conventional shot there, but again a dot. So Wasim Jr.'s started well. 4 balls into his first over and the 2 runs.
Yeah, he's done a lot to try and quell that run rate. Prior to this over, it was almost tracking, or the Scorchers were almost tracking an over ahead of where the Scorchers were. So 23 and then 32. 1 over later in the Pakistan innings, they were 23 and then 33. Wasim Jr., as you said, done very well to just stop it a little bit. Only conceded 2 so far in this over.
Bowls again, and there it is, bowled. He had 3 goes at it, Holt. Played and missed twice. On the 3rd occasion, the ball was cannoning into middle stump. Interesting tactics from Holt, but the Pakistan Shaheens, they're alive. The score now 3 for 34.
Don't worry about that shy total at all, Carl. This is going to be a really good game. It's going to go right to the wire. Wickets dropping a bit too easily here today. Coming in now, looks like it's Nicholas Hobson. Can he try and steady the ship a little bit, steer it on its way towards that total? 78 required off 90. They're still ahead of the bell curve in terms of where Pakistan were at the same stage, but just as those wickets fall, the batsmen get a little bit less reliable and you don't quite know how long they're going to last.
No, well, I think the win vis is evened right up here with that 3rd wicket to Wasim Jr. Baxter Holt looking to be aggressive, but were the odds in his favour. The ball just scooting through a little lower. We've seen in the Pakistan Shaheens innings, LBWs bowled from balls attacking the stumps, and he's lost his wicket. A great start to Wasim Jr., picking up his 1st wicket with only 2 runs off the over. He's got 1 ball to close out the 5th over. Coming in to Hobson. Who's able to get off the mark with his first ball, guiding the ball into the cover gap there. So at the end of the 5th over, the score is 3 for 35. Curtis started brightly, hitting his first 2 balls for 4. Joined at the crease now by fellow left-hander Nick Hobson, a player with plenty of experience, and that experience might be welcomed at this point of the match, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they probably need someone just to help sort of settle things down a little bit. They don't want to sort of find themselves where Pakistan were at a similar time, 4 wickets down, all of their key batsmen out, and really almost just trying to invent something out there in the middle.
So Nick Hobson about to embark on his 7th season in orange with the Perth Scorchers for BBL 15. He's had some great moments, but probably none better than that famous partnership with Cooper Connolly in BBL 12. As he defends Masood back to the crease there. Masood again. My apologies, we've had a change of bowling from the Michael Long end. Fazil Akram coming in. He was able to take 3 for 19 in game 1 against Bangladesh. So a strike bowling option. Pakistan Sheehan's will be looking for him to claim another wicket to put the Perth Scorchers middle order under further pressure. Here he comes to Curtis. It's short, down leg, protection out at backward square. Just the single as Curtis swept that away behind square. Will, where's your win viz at the moment? What percentage chance do you give the Sheehan's?
I still think the Scorchers are in the box seat. I'd give Pakistan maybe 30% here. I don't know if that's not generous enough, but I just think looking at the context of the game as well, despite the fact they have taken these 3 early wickets, the target still is only 112. If they'd maybe been able to put on that extra 10, 20 runs, we might be looking at a different story.
As Akram bowls to Curtis, he's able to cut that away for a single. I get the sense now these 2 left-handers will be happy to just accumulate the score, not try and lose any more wickets until they decide to take the power surge. Hobson deep in his crease, works that to mid-on for 1. They think about a second, decide against it. No risks needed.
And I think you're exactly right there, Carl. These 2 are just going to be happy to take ones. They don't need to do anything more than that. They do sort of have the benefit of knowing what they're chasing. Whereas Pakistan, while a lot of their innings was just trying to find that quick, safe single, they were setting the pace there. Maybe they would have gone a little bit harder, a little bit earlier, if it was the other way around.
So after an excellent first over, claiming 1 for 3, Wasim Jr. to continue from the airport end. Bowling into a slight breeze. All his fielders are square or behind on the fence. Bowling to Hobson. Oh, inside edge. Makes its way down to short third and beats the fielder. So 4 runs for Hobson. Well bowled to Wasim. Consider himself a little bit unlucky there. Attacking the stumps again. He's generating good pace. But on this occasion, the luck is on the batter's side. Mentioned before some of the exploits of Nicholas Hobson for the Perth Scorchers in the Big Bash. Another one of his highlights, an unbeaten 47 from only 16 deliveries on Boxing Day 2024 against Brisbane Heat at Optus Stadium. Wasim into him again. Tight line and length defended back to the bowler. Well, it's just a real privilege to see some of the Big Bash talent and emerging international stars here in Darwin for the Top End Series.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, it is the Big Bash Academies, but they haven't come without some of the superstars. Will Sutherland, he was man of the match yesterday. You heard across the road, it was Tom Rogers who got the first century of the competition as well. And even out here, there's plenty of superstars plying their trade in Darwin.
Wasim around the wicket. Straight, tight line again. Worked to mid-wicket, who comes around and saves this single. So another good start to this over from Wasim. He's looked impressive early. Yeah, and looking at some of the international sides as well, there's plenty of talent there too. There's been some test caps among the players. Sandeep Lamashane from the Nepalese side, he was just electric. I think his charisma you could see from the boundary line and on the commentary screen last night, just how excited they all are to play here. Wasim into Hobson, full straight, big appeal for LB. Rob Stewart, the umpire, decides that is sliding down as he marks leg by for the 4th delivery of the over. What a crucial decision that could be. Wasim really liked it, shaking his head as he goes back to his mark. He's full of energy and showing a lot of promise, a lot of pride for this Pakistan Sheehan's outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a lot of energy riding through his coattails at the moment. The umpire pretty happy to leave that straight away. One leg by in the end off that one.
Now to Curtis. Wasim full again, straying onto the leg side. Curtis able to easily work that down to the deep square leg fielder.
And looking at the required runs at 66 from 79 balls, so plenty of time to do it in. I think, yeah, that wind vis just sort of does stick in favour of Perth Scorchers, maybe even more so than that 70% I was suggesting before.
So to close out the 7th over, Wasim approaches Hobson. Driven through the offside. It's wide of the cover fielder. They come back for 2, which takes the score to 3 for 48 after 7. The game is evenly poised. The required run rate is below 5 and over, so this Pakistan Sheehan's need to keep taking wickets.
Yeah, they do. They also did sort of slow down a lot in the middle of their innings. They didn't really fire up again until that 17th over. So I suspect that scoreworm is only going to go even more in favour of Perth Scorchers if they are just happy to hash out a couple of singles and over, maybe pluck a boundary line when it's there every once in a while. I think the best way forward for Pakistan here will be to go for the wicket. Coming in now, Mohammad Fake again for his 2nd over.
Dot ball to start to Curtis. Was well timed, but straight back to the bowler. The off spin of Faik. Just trying to either slide on with the arm for bowled an LB or grab a little bit of grip and turn. Curtis out of his crease there, works that to the onside. Push for 2, decide against it.
His first over bowling, sorry, so a change in bowlers there as well from Fazil Akram.
Hobson on strike now. Fake returns, slower, wider, deep in his crease. Hobson cuts out to deep point for 1.
And Hobson and Curtis trying to build something here. Good strike out there, but met by the fielder. Little mishap and he gets it back into the middle.
Well timed from Curtis, was able to get it to the right-hand side of the fielder. Scamper back for 2. That ability to just accumulate with 2s and 3s. Just really reduce the amount of dot balls bowled will be important for the Scorchers. Out of his crease again. Worked onto the onside. Again, they think about a second. Slight misfield. Only the 1, no damage done. Fake didn't bowl in the opening game for the Shaheens, so has been entrusted to take a wicket here. Full. Beats cover. Mid-off does well to get around. Restricted to a single. Quick over. 6 runs coming off it with 1 dot. Score is now 3 for 58.
I mentioned that Pakistan slowed down this middle patch of their innings. At the moment, as you said, 3 for 54 is what the Perth Scorchers lie at the moment. Pakistan didn't hit 54, sorry, until the 11th over. So they're tracking about 3 overs ahead of where Pakistan were at the same time.
Yeah, it's about the time of the match in the first innings where Corey Rocacholi and Luke Holt really gained the ascendancy. The Sheehan batters just could not get them away, and that really got them behind, I guess, the required rate for what they would have been hoping. As we see the introduction of spin from the airport end.
Let's see if they've got a Corey Rocacholi in their back pocket. change in bowling. It'll be Mars Sadakat.
Here he is, full to begin. Just beaten as the ball was hit back hard to him by Nick Hobson. He's able to jot through for a single. Bring Curtis back on strike. Reverse sweep, can't beat the backward square dot. Joel Curtis coming off an outstanding WA Premier season where he was awarded the Ollie Cooley medalist as the best and fairest. He had 6 centuries and 971 runs. As he dances down to get off strike. And another single, so an average of 81 playing in the Perth Premier competition for Joel Curtis, and he's forced his way into the WA state side, which is no easy feat with the likes of Josh Inglis and Josh Philippe as the wicket keepers in recent seasons.
Average of 81, that's pretty handy.
As we see another single out to long on.
And this is all the Scorchers need to do, just a few singles now. It's them who can put away the big swings. They haven't had a boundary in almost 3 overs now, but I don't think they're too worried. They just need to keep chipping away. 1 a ball, happy with that. Even let that one slide there.
Top ball from Sagarat here. Can he close out his first over? Tidy so far, only the 3 off. In he comes to Curtis. Full, driven to cover. A little bit of conjecture whether it's a crowd catch or a genuine catch. I think a bump ball. So a dot to close out the 9th over. The score is 3 for 57.
Still well ahead of where Pakistan were at the same time. And yeah, that one obviously grounded, but a few nervous moments in the crowd, in the Pakistan crowd. You definitely heard them getting up and about, thinking maybe they've dropped another one, or I should say caught another one and sent one back to the sheds, but not to be. Just 3 for 57. And by this stage, 5 wickets had dropped on the Pakistan side.
Hobson hits hard to short cover, well fielded, another dot, so just starting to tighten the screws a little bit here, the Shaheens. Good combination here, Faik. This time cut to backward point, they think about a single, straight to the fielder, 2 dots in a row. And as we've said before, Will, anytime you can bowl consecutive dots in T20, the pressure just starts to increase.
Yeah, they are just starting to slow that run rate down, which, I mean, they probably still need to get wickets, but slowing that run rate will give them a bit more time to buy those wickets.
Slower this ball, but Hobson's able to find the gap at cover and get off strike. Just wonder whether the Shaheens would think about bringing any fielders up into the ring to create more pressure. That's another single out to deep point. I think the Perth Scorchers are more than happy to just take the runs that are given to them. Bat within themselves, may look to be more expansive through the power surge. They still have those 2 overs remaining of only 2 fielders out. Hobson turns that one to mid-wicket. They think about a second, again, risk adverse, and decide a single is enough. 3 singles off the over so far to Faik. He's bowling with good control. Curtis comes out, advances.
I think that one's been called wide as well.
No, a no ball, Will. So a free hit. So just letting the pressure off there. Interesting to see whether that was a front foot decision from umpire Simon Burns, but the field cannot change. Joel Curtis with a free hit here. Fake, reverse, and well played. Lifts that over the short third, rolls away for a boundary. Curtis makes his way to 22, and that's just relieved a bit of pressure.
Yeah, absolutely, it has. I think as much as they just need singles, they don't want to be playing too risky. You also wonder if they wouldn't mind squeezing a boundary in every once in a while just to make sure if they do need to start swinging for them, they're ready to do so. And being given the opportunity to do so often, no ball, a free hit, even better.
So it's really wicket time now for the Pakistan Shaheens if they want to stay in this match.
8 runs off that last over.
Sadakat to continue his second. And,
Just didn't carry, but that was nearly...
Short, wide, hanged in the air for a long time to backward point, but it just didn't get there. Spun hard, and he did well to put a hand on it. Hobson survives. Sadakat continues. Hobson advances now and says, bang, have that. 6 straight over the umpire's hat into the sight screen. So after half a chance the ball before, the Perth Scorchers are starting to put their foot down. A great strike from Hodgson there.
Absolutely, and if they only need to get a run of ball, he can put his bat away for the next 4 balls. I don't think he will.
Sadakat returns. This time Hobson deep in his crease. Comes back for 2. Pressure on the sweeper. Maybe didn't attack that as hard as he could have. Scorchers identified the opportunity and have come back for 2. So they're building a big over here. Just what the Shaheens didn't need.
8 so far off the over. Could prove to be costly.
Wider this one. Open face from Hobson. No run as the ball goes straight to short. Third. Will Hobson look to continue the aggressive frame of mind? Just playing from the crease there. Well bowled, Sadakat. He's come back nicely after the 8 runs from the first 3 balls. Back-to-back dots. Can he close out his second over, the 11th of the innings? Sadakat to Hobson. Quicker through the air. Full into middle and leg. Just punched down to mid-on for a single to close out the over. Nick Hobson's made his way to 25 off 24 deliveries, while Joel Curtis is 22 off 19. Scorchers look in control.
Yeah, that's almost skipped them out to almost 4 overs ahead of where Pakistan were at the same time. And keep in mind, they had a very unseasonal 22, Pakistan, which they scored 7 off a no ball and then 2 other 6s in the same over in the 18th.
So we've just seen, Will, the power surge has been taken. So Nick Hobson has decided, let's get this over with. Only the 38 runs required. So for the next 2 overs, only 2 fielders are permitted outside the inner ring. Some conjecture between captain and bowler as to who that will be. Looks like mid-off is making his way back to the fence. Deep mid-wicket, the fielder out as well. Aram to Hobson. Looks to hit that over mid-on. Just checked in the outfield. Well done by the fielder. They'll come back for a second. So I think we've seen a sign of intent from Nick Hobson here, taking the surge, looking to hit the first ball over mid-on. Aram to continue. Again short, This one's closer to the fielder and well held again. So there's a wicket. We often see the power surge will bring about a wicket in the Big Bash, and that's exactly what's happened with the second ball here. Aram bowling the ball into the wicket, had protection at deep mid-wicket. Hobson took on the boundary, took on the fielder, was unsuccessful, and another well-judged catch by the fielder in the deep.
Yeah, very well done there by Pakistan. And just as Hobson was looking to find a groove and maybe start swinging big, he's been his own undoing.
As we see the replay, well judged, diving to his right, had to hold on as he braced for impact. And that's what they need to do, the Pakistan Shaheens. They have supported their bowlers. That's the second excellent catch we've seen in this innings. 4 wickets down. If they could just get Curtis as well, bring 2 new batters to the crease, maybe there's still some life in this game.
Yeah, just before that wicket fell, I thought they've called the power surge. Are we potentially looking at 19 and over for the next 2 over? And the next 2 overs and in for an early dinner, Carl. But with that wicket, it could change the context of the game completely. The Scorchers now in a weird position. They want to capitalise on the power surge, but they also don't want to lose another wicket in quick succession.
So Matthew Spores is the new batter to the crease, and it's always interesting when you lose a wicket early in the power surge. Does the new batter look to capitalise with 2 fielders out, or do they happy to face a few dots and play themselves in? Interesting to see the approach as Akram comes in. Cut! Out! 2 in a row! Akram's on a hat-trick. Is this what the Pakistan Shaheens needed? 5 down now, the Perth Scorchers. As we said, the choice to take the power surge has resulted in 2 wickets and brought the Shaheens back into the game.
I think it has. Pakistan up and about. You can hear the crowd as well. They are feeling up and about here. Imagine if the next one comes off as well. Maybe Spores just not quite appreciative of the situation.
Wide ball, had some length. The field was up, tried to cut. There was 3 fielders to beat. The fielder at backward point had to take a second grab at it, but was calm under the pressure, held on. Crucial wicket. And now we see batter striding out to the crease. Luke Holt, who did the job with the ball, but now he's facing a hat-trick in this 12th over. The score at 5 for 76. And there's still a little bit of work to do. 36 required from the Perth Scorchers. Tell you what, Will, if they can claim the wicket of Joel Curtis, there'll be some nervy batters in the tail of the Perth Scorchers yet to claim a victory in this top-end series.
And I think that's the mission for the reciprocal batter. Just get Curtis on strike and protect him with your running as well. Hat-trick ball coming up.
Here comes Akram for 3 in a row. Oh, beats the bat of Holt. Was it the wrong end? Great tension here. He signals that it did just dart away from him. So out the back of the wrist, great skills from Akram. Fazil Akram, 2 for 7. Bringing the Shaheens back into this game. He comes in again. Ooh, again trying to cut, cramped for room. What an over. 2 wickets, 2 runs, the first of this power surge. As we can hear the Pakistan fans in the crowd coming to life. Akram. Back of a length this time, pulled out by Holt to the mid-wicket boundary. The fielder will get around. They come back for 2, but a fantastic over. Back-to-back wickets, claiming Hobson, who was looking like running away with this match in the next couple of overs, but It's an excellent catch in the deep mid-wicket before a wicket first ball has brought the Shaheens right back to life.
Yeah, massive circuit break it there from Pakistan, particularly that first catch was very important because Hobson and Curtis just looked to be building something very slowly and steadily. They looked like they were almost entrenched in there, and maybe that was the problem. There wasn't sort of that alertness that they needed to have if they were still finding their feet. Hobson looks to be swinging pretty big, and in the end that was his undoing.
Joel Curtis on strike. He's the key. Made his way to 22 off 19 with little to no risk. Wasim to continue around the wicket. Full onto leg stump. Work to the leg side. Should just be the single. Shaheens will be okay with that. Second over of the power surge. Will we see more wickets? Field converges onto Luke Holt. We've just got the one fielder out at the moment, a deep square leg. Deep long on going back, which is an interesting choice. Surprised if Holt's looking to take that on so early in his innings. And then we've decided to revert from that tactic. Deep third now dropping out. Deep long on coming inside the ring. So a more traditional field. Wasim, can he hit the stumps? Back of the length. Holt gives himself a little bit of room. Just defends back to the bowler.
He's already collected backs to Holt today. He'd love to take Luke with him as well. So far conceded 11 runs. Wasim Jr.
Strays onto leg stump. Holt's able to get off to strike. Brings Curtis back on to strike. A little inside edge there. 32 required for the Perth Scorchers. Shaheens looking to keep taking wickets to keep this match alive. The field for Curtis is a deep backward square and deep mid-wicket as the two fielders out. Wasim, again leg side. Single down to short fine. But a non-striker Holt responds quickly. Was able to make his ground before the direct hit. Knocked the bail off. So Luke Holt was able to do the job with the ball in the first innings. Took 2 for 18 with his wrist spin. Now has a job to do with the bat. Just steer the Scorchers home with these remaining 31 runs for victory.
And despite those 2 wickets, haven't really taken the pace off too much. Still 4 overs ahead of where Pakistan were at the same time, the Perth Scorchers.
So again, just Imran Khan deciding to drop the mid-on fielder and bring third man up into the ring. 2 fielders out on the leg side. As Wasim cramps mid-wicket. There's a chance of a run out. Elects to throw at the bowler's end. I think the batter had made his ground. We have 1 ball left remaining in this power surge. Whether Joel Curtis decides to take it on or just milk a single and keep the strike will be the decisions running through his mind at the moment. Deep long on, deep backward square, so potentially boundary options at fine leg or mid wicket, and we've seen Curtis has a lovely cover drive if the ball is full and outside off. Here comes Wasim. It is leg side, but able to just be worked to the short fine fielder for 1. Curtis will retain the strike. 5 runs off the over. The score is 5 for 83.
Run rate 6.38 required, 4.14. You thought that would be a lot less than it is at this point in the game. Pakistan have done very well just to stem the flow from the Perth Scorchers. And they haven't really quite gotten onto it at all today. The probably most solid patch they had was just as Hobson got out. But even Curtis hasn't quite seemed 100% settled.
No surprise. Fazil continues. Curtis looking for 2. A bit of hesitation. Back to the bowler's end. Oh, what's the decision? Not out. Crucial decision there. Curtis hit the ball to deep long on. Obviously wanted to retain the strike. A moment's hesitation, a full-length dive. The umpire determined not out.
He's had a few lives, Joel Curtis.
As we see the replay here, Curtis working the ball down to long on. Fielder did well, collected cleanly, got rid of the ball. Throw came into the wicketkeeper, who had to take the stumps. A full-length dive to Curtis was adjudged to have just made his ground. Akram now, little paddle sweep, fine. There's a fielder out there, it will just be 1.
I think they'll be happy with just the 1 there. Don't want to go through the drama of the last ball again so soon, Carl.
Fazil Akram was able to show his skills. The wrong end in the previous over. Will he be looking to spin the ball in or away from Holt here? I think they've got to bring a few more fielders up into the ring and try and really keep Holt on strike, force him into an error. Akram. Back to him and gone! Cotton bowled! Holt looked to work the ball onto the leg side. Whether it was the wrong end or the ball just held in the pitch, Akram claims his 3rd wicket. The score now 6 for 86. The Perth Scorchers are under some pressure, Will.
They are. It wasn't the right man for Pakistan, but another wicket is another wicket, and it just means there's someone else in there who's a little bit unsettled. Luke Holt just popping it straight back up to him. Didn't quite get onto that.
And another good catch from Akram, this time off his own bowling. The 3rd tidy bit of fielding we've seen from this Pakistan Shaheens. They're a young and energetic group. That first catch that we saw was an absolute belter. This time the return had to jump. It's always trying to get your timing right with those caught and bowls. He judged it for perfection. Akram claims his 3rd wicket. Tidy figures of 3 for 12. I'll tell you, Will, another wicket or 2, particularly the one of Joel Curtis, and I think we're going down to the wire here.
Yeah, Joel Curtis currently is the key to this game. Whatever happens with him probably determines the outcome of the match.
The experienced Matthew Kelly coming in at a opportune time. He'll have been in these situations before. He'll know his job is just to get Curtis back on strike. Akram bowls. Oh, it beats the keeper. The wrong one might have done him too. Buys. Will it be 3? It's going to go for 4. Oh no. Disappointing for the Shaheens. Just as they were tightening the screws. Akram, he's been a wily bowler, and that just ability to beat the outside half of the bat has not only beaten the batter but beaten the keeper too. Khawaja Nafe unable to lay a glove on that one, and 4 buys at this point, Will, is quite important.
Yeah, suddenly what was looking like a pretty tight over with a wicket included has blown out to 7 runs, which It's half the battle at the moment. They're only chasing 22 more from 38 balls.
2 balls remaining. Aram to continue. Left arm over. Back into the wicket. Kelly's able to work that for a single to long on. Well, with a modest total on the board, it's certainly been a spirited display by the Pakistan Shaheens.
Yeah, absolutely. They haven't really lost hope at all. In fact, I think they've almost considered themselves a huge chance in this game the whole way through. They've certainly bowled like it, and the crowd has certainly believed it as well, judging by the noise coming there.
Aram to close out the over. Bowling to Curtis. Full-blooded drive. Half an appeal with the delayed question from the wicket keeper, but not out. Curtis survives 2 appeals in the over. Makes his way to 28 off 25. Chances at the desired wicket of Joel Curtis there for the Pakistan Shaheens. But importantly, they keep him off strike and a chance to take more wickets with Kelly to face the first ball of the next over.
Still well ahead of the Pakistan side on that score worm here. Plenty of time to score those final 21 runs. They just need to keep a cool head about it. And as we said earlier, Joel Curtis really is the key. If he goes, you think maybe so too to the Scorchers.
Masood to bowl from the airport end. In he comes to Kelly. Oh! Kelly getting deep in his crease, looking to hit hard out to the leg side. That must have been close to clipping leg stump. Another bit of luck goes the Perth Scorchers' way. Masood, short again, this time straight a bat, worked out to square leg. They will be able to come back for an easy 2. Just love to see Imran Khan thinking about bringing up a couple of fielders to keep Kelly on strike and force him into a aggressive shot. Masood short. Punched out to mid-wicket for a single, bringing Curtis back on strike. The key wicket with 18 runs required. So they are running out of room here, the Shaheens. Everything needs to go perfectly from here.
Yeah, absolutely right. 18 runs, your tail end can relatively easily pick up. So they should be able to.
Shahid Masood bowls to Curtis, who's able to pull that out to mid-wicket. He's just looked comfortable, Curtis, hasn't he? He's gone along around his business, 29 off 26 now, so over a run a ball, but without really needing to take any risks.
Yeah, absolutely. They can just sort of poach a few runs here or there, and that should be enough.
Masood to Kelly, again, tight to leg stump. Clip down to backward square for 1. One ball remaining in this, the 15th over. Curtis has looked composed. Masood Fuller, down leg side. No contact from the sweep shot from Curtis, but adjudged to be a wide. We'll re-bowl that one. Masood, this time wider. Cut out to deep cover for a single. Curtis makes his way to 30. Be happy to retain the strike. The score is now 6 for 98. Perth Scorchers need another 14 runs for their first victory in this, the 2025 Top End Series, brought to you by NT Tourism.
Yeah, that's sundry. Second last ball of that over, probably not very well timed either at this point of the match, when you're really just trying to hang on to every last run and not let Perth squeeze and ring them out. A sundry's not what you want to be giving them. Bring it down to now 14.
Another paddle sweep from Curtis, unable to make contact. I think he'll just be happy to get out of this Aram over with no more damage. He has looked the most threatening Shaheens bowler. Hit out to mid-off for a single. A reminder that the action continues after this match. Will be followed by the Bangladesh-Nepal game over at DXC Arena. So continue to tune in for the just amazing cricket, emerging talent between domestic and international teams, Will, that we're seeing here in the Top End Series, Darwin, Australia.
Yeah, the final match of Super Saturday, and both Bangladesh and Nepal chasing their first win. Wouldn't want to go to 2 losses early.
Firmly hit out to long on and out. Kelly took the risk. A big gap over the bowler's head, but he wasn't able to get it straight enough. Hit it hard and flat to long on. Well held. The Pakistan Shaheens continue their impressive display in the field. Just that heartbeat. Every time we think it's gone, they're just staying in the game, Will.
It's not quite there yet, but you wonder if there's enough partners to last the distance with Joel Curtis. 6 for 99.
Fazil Akram, he's deserved this. Now has the wickets of 4 for 14. He's looked a constant threat. Threw it up outside the batter's eye line. Kelly with some room to move, tried to hit it straight to the sight screen, but just slightly turned the bat in his hand to take the ball to long on, which was well held. 7 for 99 with 13 runs required. Can Akram take another wicket to claim a 5-wicket haul? He's been excellent today, Will.
Yeah, he really has. Definitely be up in contentions for player of the match. Still more work for him, you feel.
Single worked to long on. Yeah, well, if you could take the wicket of Curtis here with his final 2 balls of his spell, that would go a long way to taking that man of the match honours.
Had our first century of the tournament, Carl, over the road just earlier today. Nearly had our first hat-trick as well through Akram. That third one just didn't quite sneak the bat. I think it might have been of Luke Holt at the time.
Akram to Curtis. Full. Appeal for LB. He's given it. There is the wicket. The crucial wicket of Joel Curtis. Fazil Akram claims his fifer. What an inspired display to keep the Pakistan Shaheens in this game. Now they need 2 wickets with 12 runs remaining.
Yeah, this game was well and truly alive. They only need 1 run every 2 balls, but the question is, do they have the people out there to do it? There'll be 2 batsmen in the middle of the pitch now who are very unsettled, very unsure. It's not really where they shine on the cricket field, but it's where they have to if they're to get their first win of the Top End Series.
What a great appeal. The passion from the Pakistan Shaheens. Wicketkeeper Khawaja Nafe was animated, pleading with the umpire to give it. Luke Smith, who thought about it for an extended period before raising the finger, to the delight of the Pakistan crowd. They're in full voice. They believe that this could be an unlikely second victory for the Pakistan Shaheens. 12 required, 2 wickets remain. Will, we've got a nail biter.
Absolutely, we do. Don't think that Akram is done just yet either.
No, he's still got a ball remaining, and again the wrong and just completely deceived Curtis. Looking to drive through the offside, spun into his pads, and I think a good decision from the umpire. Here's Aram to Brodie Crouch, full toss. Anticlimactic finish, but what a spell. Fazil Akram, take a bow. 5 for 16, defending 111. An excellent performance, taking all those wickets from the power surge, which was taken by Nick Hobson. He took 2 wickets in that over, another 2 wickets in his last over. Corey Rocchiccioli and Brodie Crouch under some pressure here, the tail enders for the Perth Scorchers.
Yeah, they both did it with the ball in hand. Now they've got to do it with bat in hand and just carry the rest of the team over the line for victory. You'd still think that it's probably favouring them, but they just need to keep their wits about them.
So it's Brodie Crouch to face Wasim Jr. from the airport end. Been impressed with Wasim. I've got a feeling he can bowl full and straight, attack the stumps for a bowled or LB. He's around the wicket. Oh, it was full and straight. Must have gone through bat and pad. Aggressive fast bowling. Would love to see it from the Pakistanis. They've done it so often before, the pace bowlers that they've produced. Wasim Jr. following in the footsteps. Can he make a name for himself by closing out these final 2 wickets? Be plenty watching in from back home and across the globe with our broadcast partners. Wasim approaches Crouch. Full, straight, driven. Straight to backward point, no run. If there's one thing that's not an issue, Will, it's dot balls and the run rate that's required. 11 from 22, so there's plenty of time, but there's only 2 wickets.
Yeah, they can definitely afford a few dot balls. They only really want to be getting the runs that they can afford. Well, I guess the runs that are safe enough for them to do so. No unnecessary running. No big swinging unnecessarily either.
2 dots. Bowler coming over the wicket. Conjecture about the field remains as is. 5 fielders out, 4 inside the ring. Wasim, full, straight. Again, dot. He's really honing in for that Yorker. Trying to find the base of the stumps to just blast through Crouch.
However, Carl, if they keep getting dot balls up, it might have an impact on their confidence as well.
Yes, no, if they can continue to bowl them, it might just start to play into the minds of the Scorchers batters, but for the time being, they do not need to do anything silly. They can do this with singles. They can do it with 2s. Wasim. Full, straight, driven, mid-off. Gets around, single. Well played from Crouch. Kept his composure. Didn't look to do too much. Took the single that was on offer to bring Rocchiccioli onto strike. He did such a job with the ball. Incredible composure and skills. Pakistan Shaheens batters just could not get him away. Only the 14 runs off his 4 overs, but for now, he needs to do the job with the bat. Deep long on, goes back. The right-handed Rocchiccioli faces Wasim. Mistimed shot into bat and pad. Another dot. Only the 1 off the over. Pakistan fans in the outer, full of voice. They're full of hope and belief that this could be a remarkable comeback victory. When Hobson and Curtis were at the crease, we were thinking by how far. What a turnaround we've seen off the bowling of Akram.
Well, when that happened, we also thought, could this game be over in 2 overs' time? That was back in the 12th. Since then, they've only really managed 20 runs or so, 25 runs.
For the loss of 6 wickets. Wasim to finish his spell. Short of a length, hit straight to mid-wicket. No run. Only the 1 run off. So with 3 overs remaining, the Scorchers still need 10 more for victory. A tied over by Wasim. And you can feel the tension and excitement at the ground, Will.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. You sort of thought this is going to be a bit of a, not a walkover, but a pretty simple equation. And just look at that score worm, how quickly Pakistan raised that score worm late with 22 runs in the 17th over. The corresponding over for the Perth Scorchers, just 1 run. So that's really changed the game, along with really the bowling of Faisal Akram.
Both changes coincided with the power surge. So Pakistan Sheehan's took it late. Masood was able to capitalise, finding 6s for that real surge in their innings, whereas the Perth Scorchers took it early and lost wickets, Will. Crucial how you decide to take that power surge. A great invention that we've seen in the Big Bash, and glad to see it here in the top end series.
And it really has turned the game, particularly Perth Scorchers. You almost wonder if they hadn't taken it, would they have cruised a little bit easier to victory rather than swing and trying to capitalise?
Ubad Shah, bowling from the Michael Long end. Ooh, big swing. Dot ball again. That must be 4 or 5 dot balls in a row as the Scorchers batters just come down to check in, reassure each other that they've got this covered, but we feel the tension. Haven't really been able to lay bat on too many. Big swing by Crouch there. Ubaid Shah looking to attack the stumps as well. Can he get one to just scoot through, keep a little low, take a peg? Back of a length, freeze the arms. Slade to deep third. Just the single. Just got to tighten up that line a little bit, Shah. Don't give them any room to free their arms. You want to be attacking those stumps. We've seen the Scorchers bowlers take a lot of wickets, LBW, a few bowled late in the innings, batters trying to play across the line. I think that's his best chance of taking these last wickets.
Less than 10 runs now. Finish line is in sight for the Scorchers, but they're not there yet. How will they finish it off here? How will they try to finish it off?
Shah. Bowls to Roccacelli, wicketkeeper. Gets the glove off to shy at the stump, but they're able to scamper through for a single. The runs required now in single digits. Only the 8 more required.
Nervously, I think, is the answer there, Carl.
I think so.
Very clear call there from Couch, and ultimately the right one. They made it relatively comfortably. Roccacelli listening and trusting his partner there, but they need to be certain, they need to act accordingly.
Yes. Crouch on strike now. Shah is around the wicket. Oh, he's gone through the big swing across the line. I think that's the danger shot on this wicket, which is just starting to keep a little low. Survives there, Crouch, trying to finish this game with 2 hits. Brave decision. There is a gap out there at mid-wicket. Just signalling to his non-striker, Roccacelli, that the ball just shot through. Shah trying to decide whether to drop the mid-wicket fielder. I don't know if they should have encouraged Crouch to play the same shot again. They're bringing up deep third. Deep mid-wicket goes back now. So 4 fielders on the leg side. Deep point, the only deep. Shah comes in. What are they? Bit of conjecture from the wicketkeeper, potentially appealing for an LBW. Had no support from the bowler. It is another dot, so another tidy over. Khan speaks to the umpire there. So another tied over, and they are just starting to make the balls required factor into the equation here. It's currently 8 off 13. And the pressure is on the Perth Scorchers. Shah to continue to crouch. Oh, it's 4! A diving effort from short third. It was a chance. It went in the air, catchable height to the left of the short third fielder. The Pakistan Shaheens, who have fielded so well. If that had held, what a moment. But it's gone through for 4, and now only 4 more required from the Scorchers. They gain the ascendancy again.
Prior to that, they were going at just 2 runs and over for the previous 3 overs. So, yeah, the run rate really was becoming, I guess, an issue in the amount of runs that they needed to get. It would have been 8 off the last 2 overs, and they would only have scored less than that in the previous 3. However, now 1 good strike and it could be game over, Carl.
Interesting decision. We saw Croach play and miss across the line. They brought deep third up and then bowled a wider delivery. So interesting tactics from the Shaheens there. Croach, with that extra room, was able to free his arm and get the ball down to the deep third boundary where the fielder had just come from. So that puts all the pressure onto Masood. And bang, over the head. That's the game. Rocket Charlie finishes it in style with 6. We got a closer game than we thought. Pakistan defended bravely their score of 111, but the Perth Scorchers have claimed their first victory of their campaign. 8 down. We'll treat it to another excellent match in this top-end series.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the Perth Scorchers, it is their first victory. They have won by 2 wickets here at TIO Stadium. Their first victory means that the competition is still alive. Just the 6 games per side in the round-robin format. If they'd gone 2 down, it could have been the end of the tournament for them before they'd even really taken a breath. For Pakistan, their first loss, on the other hand, which means things are really starting to tighten up, and I think a lot of teams now have sort of had 1 win each, 1 win and 1 loss each. But yeah, great game in the end. Not as straightforward as you thought. Halfway through, you thought Perth Scorchers might even be trying to get this in half the time, try and call it an early night and be home after 12 overs, but it took them until the 18th to get it, and those power surges really changed the momentum of the play.
So another fantastic match here in the top end T20 series. To recap this second innings of the Perth Scorchers, as we see the 2 teams shaking hands after a fantastic display. It was Joel Curtis and Nick Hobson who had the game well under control. They needed 38 more runs with 8 wickets remaining. They took the power surge. They lost Hobson in the second ball. They lost another wicket to the very next ball to Matthew Spores, who was well caught. Before the spin of Fazil Akram brought the Pakistan Shaheens into the game from nowhere. He finished with the figures of 5 for 16, including the crucial wicket of Joel Curtis, to bring some life to a game that looked like it would be over quickly. So the Pakistan Shaheens, they can hold their head high. They started the campaign with a blistering performance with the bat. They've shown that they can produce with the ball. So they will be looking forward to their next fixture. As we take a look at the highlights from the second innings. How about that catch? The first catch from the short fine leg. Saeed Azhar will be one of the catches of the season, and then not to be outdone by that effort in the deep to take the wicket of Nick Hobson. Next ball, we saw Matthew Spores dismissed, and this is about the time where Pakistan started to believe.
Yeah, absolutely. They only conceded 9 runs from that power surge compared to 32 they scored. Really changed the tide of the game. Slowly but surely, they whittled down those wickets. They left 8. There was a beautiful caught and bowled there by Aram. I think that was his 5th wicket of the night as well. He was, absolutely powerful with the ball in hand. But ultimately, it came down to the tail enders, probably the 2 better players with the ball in hand, Corey Raccioli and Brody Couch, who scored the winning runs and ultimately steered the Perth Scorchers to victory.
And this is the moment where we got the 4 runs in the penultimate over to Brody Crouch before Corey Roccacelli hit the winning runs, bringing it up with a 6. It's been another fantastic match here in the top end T20 series. For our viewers, a reminder, there's another match tonight in Super Saturday with Bangladesh taking on Nepal at DXC Arena before the action continues tomorrow. It's been a pleasure having you with us, Will. Another fantastic match. What are you looking forward to as we continue this T20 series?
Looking forward to seeing some of those international teams, and their fan base is just phenomenal. Really adds to the atmosphere of these competition. But been a pleasure calling with you, Carl. I'm looking forward to calling many more games over the top end series.